How's it going, everyone? I think I'm gonna put on some sound. Well, hey, what you doing, man? Yeah, I don't know why they don't make or show the ones for like mine that has to have that hole through it. And if we want to dehydrate the eggs and use the liquid way, like we watched on that video, it's not gonna do any good to pour it on just if you cut the hole in it. Hi, buddy. What's up, Ryan? How you guys doing? And Shane's internet is still on, or out, I should say. I'm glad you're doing great, buddy. Hiya, Squirrel. Hi, Krubby. Hi, Vicky. How's everyone doing? I didn't know that they were having football on right now. Hi, Eagles. How's it going? And Krubby, your beagle is adorable. Yeah, they told him it was supposed to be back on by 4 today. And it's 10:35 Shane's time right now. Hi, Addie. How's it going? I'm on my mess right now. So I was going to leave my cam off. You could check Lazy Days Ahead with Jesse and Lisa. I know she pressure cans a lot of different stuff, and what the heck else does pressure canning? Maybe Chris and Larry Homestead? I'm not sure. I know a bunch of them do canning. Let's see if Jesse has anything on there. So I know they do the jams. I don't know what else she does. Hi, Crazy Hillbilly. How's it going? Yeah, I don't see any besides jams there. Let's see, jalapenos. No, I don't see any on Jesse's. I can't keep track of everything that everybody does unless I go, because a lot of them do different preparations for stuff. Hi, Stephen Batten. How's it going? I know Chris and Larry makes homemade yogurt and lotions and soaps and freeze-dried stuff. Trying to see if she has any canning stuff on there. Then she's also got a video on there of cooking with the sun. Ryan, I still don't feel the greatest, but I'll be alright. I go see specialist on Monday. Thank you for asking. Maybe it's Oh, Mom, it's Christian and Larry that do the quail. Hi, BS, how's it going? I'll send it to you in Messenger, Mom. Hey, Brutal Bob. Brutal Bob. Hey, Pac-Man. How's it going? Miss Jamie. Hi, Brutal Bob. Yeah, I sent you Chris and Larry's link in Messenger, because she's also the one that they do the quail eggs. Remember I said I couldn't figure it out earlier? Because I know they grow quick and they're a lot easier to process than a chicken and turkeys. How you feeling, Brutal Bob? But I know Chris has a lot of different things you can do, like goat milk soap and a bunch of other stuff on there. He's got a lot of good videos. You still at work, Squirrel? Yeah, I know. If I had my passport, I'd be taking a trip to Nova Scotia this weekend. I know if I had to deal with this internet stuff as much as he does, I'd be going out of my mind. Oh, okay, Squirrel, that's good. Hey, AR, how's it going? Are you rested now? Hi, Growing A Homestead, how's it going? Are you home or are you still on the road? Yeah, that's what he was telling me earlier, and he went over there and talked to him twice. And they were rude. Oh, alright. Well, that's good, AR. Glad you feel rested. I'll drop the link if you want to come up. Well, you're not supposed to be doing that. I mean, sometimes I can fall over stuff in the way, so. And I swear my turkey is bound and determined for me to break my neck. Because every time I go into coop or in the yard, she'll come wherever I am and plop down. Of course, today with the rain we got, they're all solid mud. Hey, Rich, how's it going? So you're getting everything figured out with your vlogging, buddy? Alright. Well, isn't it a lot more to put together doing the vlog than it is just doing what you normally do? Hey Mix, how's it going? Hey Wendy. Well, that's good. I'm glad you like it more. I'm alive, Wendy. I'm alive. You know, the meds they gave me, take a while to work, so I had to take one every 12 hours. But I go see the specialist on Monday, and hopefully he can figure out what the heck's going on, because I have no idea. How are you doing tonight? Did the pups let you rest? Yeah, I'm not ready to take a dirt nap, Wendy. Hey Johnny, how's it going? Well, I bet they do keep you busy. That it is, Johnny. I was all prepared for Freaky Friday this morning. And Shane was even prepared too. But he still has no internet, so. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with his internet. They're doing something with the towers. It's supposed to be back on by 4. It's been out for 2 days, and I didn't do the morning show this morning, but I did it yesterday. Yeah, yesterday I did it. Yeah, I know, Wendy. He's going out of his mind without having internet. Go have one for me. That doesn't sound like a very good combination. Alright, there's the link, AR.
Hey, Tasha. Oh, did it again, didn't I? God, I don't never do that hardly. Here I come on your show and 3 times, knock me in the head, slap me.
Say hi.
Good. Hi, Rick.
Hi.
Hi, Gary.
How are
How
you
you
doing,
doing?
Tasha, honey?
I'm doing alright. Are you guys out fishing again? Looks like they're out fishing. Yeah, they're out fishing. Man, I'm gonna drive up there and go fishing with you.
I love the night fish. It's fun.
Yeah, there's a few other people out here. We're hearing them jumping. They're not too far out. We're hearing them plunging. Nothing yet though. It could be any day, any night. It's supposed to get pretty cold tonight, so like colder than normal. So that's usually what turns them on. That and rain.
Hmm.
Yeah, we got a bunch of rain here today.
I've seen lightning way across the lake, which of course that would be like Buffalo area. I did.
What lake you fishing at?
Lake Ontario.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, just on the eastern side, Canada, Bowmanville area. Would be like Toronto, basically.
Uh-oh. Nice meeting you, Canadian.
Nice meeting you too, man.
Mm-hmm.
His name is Rich.
Rich. My name's Elliot. AR to some. It depends. It's okay. I used to didn't use my first name on here at one time.
Hmm.
So, so Tasha, you know that like you just have to show up at that fundraiser, right? You're good.
I know. I don't know. I haven't really been watching or been a part of all that stuff, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, no, it's totally cool. That's what that's part of the issue was that a lot of people were donating, but they weren't going on the wheel, right? So me and Devil Dog and stuff, we made a decision yesterday early, and talked about it because I'd had 20 spins, like 20 spins. What happened is somebody in the leading up to the event had made a suggestion saying that if somebody had matched his $100 donation, that he would give his spins away. And so we ended up with all these spins and all these gifts and not so many people on the wheel. So I'm like, well, I know some really cool people, that are awesome supportive of the community that I think would benefit in getting to know some of the people that'll be involved. And plus the channel will be on the wheel and stuff. Like that's kind of the whole intent of the raffle, right? Like is to kind of have the community together. So you were like number one pick. Before I even started my live, I had to come ask you because I was like, I was gonna do it in private chat, but I didn't know if you'd see it. Just come up with my thumbnail and then jump back down. But I hope you don't mind. I came up to get a hold of you. I didn't know any other way. I didn't think you'd get an email in time before you were live.
My email comes in pretty quick. I mean,
Like even while you're live, can you see your email?
Yes, it comes up on my phone.
I'll remember that in the future then.
Yeah, and it comes up on the computer.
Okay, I've been finding honestly that a lot of people and of course not suggesting you are. We've always been good and quick within replies of emails, but some people don't use email at all, right? They use like Facebook or something of that sort, and so it's been it's iffy. One person uses email, one person doesn't.
Yep.
Yeah.
But email is really effective. It really helps a lot to use your email and get used to using email, especially when operating a YouTube channel.
Yeah, and I don't care if you come up on screen and talking about what you're doing or fundraiser or what's going on.
I know you don't.
But either way, if it lands on my name, I want it to go to Miss Rebecca. Just so you know.
Okay. Well, I just thought I'd pop up. I have to hold the phone to my ear in order to hear you. And as you can see, the lighting isn't like perfect. So if we get something on, I'll come jump up right in your live and show you if we get a salmon on.
Well, yes, cool. Definitely pop back up. Yes.
I will for sure. Yeah. If we get anything cool, I'll come pop right up as soon as and I'll let Judy. I mean, most times she catches all the fish anyway. So.
Well, I've seen her catch some big ones.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Hey, babe. You're the CFM star.
I caught the best fish ever when I landed you, though, boy.
Take it easy, Tasha.
Yeah, you too.
Yeah, cheers.
Take care. Nice meeting you guys. Oh, well, what an evening, or what I just got through. Went out there with a garden hose and in dark, fell over the bed frame that I took out there and forgot about it being in the yard. Cut a gash in my leg. Oh, boy.
You're not supposed to do that, Bring your flashlight.
When I fell, I just let myself go because I knew it was just too late, and I kind of shielded my face, and I did okay. I just hurt my leg, and that was it. I was done, and I realized where I was at and everything. I stood up really slow, made sure where the bed was at because I couldn't see it, and then just moved the entire bed. Actually, the bed frame, I was in the center of it, like a queen, king frame, and I just picked up the sides and walked with it and dropped it down and stepped over it. I said, oh, boy.
Hey, Tony, how's it going?
Good to be on here. Hey, guys. Sorry, I couldn't say hey right away. How's Shane? I've seen something about 5 trucks being out on his internet.
Bob's on the phone with him right now. For the past 2 days, they've had 5 trucks there. The towers are literally like across from his house. And so they're working on the cell phone tower and, the internet tower.
Mm-hmm.
He was supposed to have service back today by 4, they told him, which is 11 p.m. now, and he still doesn't have any internet.
Jeez. I've been there. A lot of trouble like that when I first, actually about 3 or 4 years ago. They, internet here put me on what they call dual copper bonded, which is like, 25 meg on one megabyte download and 25 on another, and you have to have a special router. Usually I was on a single line. I had no problems for like a decade. Every 3 months or so, my router would go bad, maybe every 4. Wow. I'd call them out here just constantly. Sometimes I've been 10 days here without no internet. And then when I got my fiber optic here back last year, They said, "Oh, you're not going to have no problems with this." I said, "Great." I had problems for months. I was having to email. I think I mentioned this. I had to email the engineers. It was a nightmare. I just
Yeah.
constantly sent screenshots of my speeds to the engineers at Windstream that runs this southern area. I think they're out west too. Windstream is, and they finally figured it out. And so far, I haven't had a lot of issues. But boy, for a while, I was just constantly on the phone. I mean, we're talking 20 times a day. You know, just hey, this is Elliot. Please fix my internet, or I'm going to switch. I'm going to dump you, is what I told them. But
I sent you a message in private chat. I didn't want to say it out loud.
okay.
So how you doing, Tony?
Oh, I'm fine. I've been doing that a long time. I'm in a
I know, but
yeah.
with times coming the way that they are, that's why he
I
was
got you.
nervous. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I appreciate the concern. I do. But it's cool in this where I'm at. Even with the locals, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
The ones that wear the hats.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, they're really strong too. I think we're a 2A county actually here. In other words, even if the feds come here, they supposedly are on. You know how that can change though. They're supposedly on our side, but you know how politics is. So who knows?
Yeah, you never know when the shit hits the fan.
True.
Who's
Yeah.
gonna be on which side?
Yeah, I know. But yeah, I appreciate the concern. That's the one issue I never really thought. Well, I did initially when I did it a few years ago, and especially when I had roommates, especially younger guys. I kind of worried they'd come here and steal everything in the middle of the night and leave, especially on drugs or something.
Yeah.
And I got where I would. I got it fixed up now though. I can lock up the room and only let the roommates come in here. You know, when I hate to be that way, but I got locks on the doors. Put it that way.
Well, I can't say that I blame you.
Yeah, it's. I wished I had a safe.
Honey,
And
I'm not.
but yeah, I've been doing this gear quite a while, so it's really kind of got used to that part. Now I don't do the other. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no way. I think I did one time on one item, but outside of that, I don't really get on there and talk much about anything like that. That's what I truly would be concerned with.
Well, yeah. I mean,
Mm-hmm. But, yeah, I got good gear. Like I said, it cost me. Oh, howdy. Good to meet you, man.
is your sound on?
Can't hear you.
Because I can't hear you.
You know what I figured out, Tasha? I've been having, and I've been streaming a long time. I was the other day when I was watching the audio stuff, and I turned the audio up now. But what it is, I am direct monitoring my sound, and I tend to, when I talk into this, I sound loud to myself, even when I crank it down kind of minimum, and I tend to lower my voice and kind of talk low because I think I'm loud here because I'm listening to these earbuds. So today I tried to drop one off and talk. That way I would talk loud enough where everybody could hear me. And I did a stream with Echo. I had to help him this evening.
Hello, everyone.
What's up, Johnny? How's it going?
It's going good. Wendy, what it is. That's what it is.
Can't hear his
It
audio.
is.
You're breaking up a little, Johnny.
I think he froze, didn't he? Unless it's my internet going down.
Oh, Clamato, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I've heard of those.
Can you hear me? Can
You're
you hear
in
me
and
okay?
out. You're freezing here and there.
Yeah, you're in and out. Yeah.
All right. So anyway, this is what it looks like. I don't want to blow up your cast here, but this is what it looks like. It's Clamato beer, 2 drops of Maggi sauce, and Tapatio, about 5 shots.
Wow.
Well, that sounds good.
Sounds good. Yeah.
Good.
All right, guys, I'll let you go. I'll let you guys were having a good conversation. I just decided I was going to step in and disrupt everything.
Anytime you want.
No, more the merrier,
Well,
man. I mean,
hey, listen, cheers. You know, I'm in a middle of nowhere, and I've got like one bar. So if I break up, it'll distract you guys. Hey, guys, I'll talk to you later. I'm going to step out.
All right. Enjoy your
Peace out.
drink.
Bye now.
have a good one.
Bye now.
I like that camper. It looked like.
Yeah. Yeah, it looks nice there.
I wished I had one. Matter of fact, I was just texting my daughter. She's coming over tomorrow for a little bit. I told her, I said, if you move, she's been talking about moving in for years, in my final years, I'll say. And I told her, I said, if you come here, I'll get a used camper and finish up the sports car, and I'll be gone a lot. I won't be here.
Yeah.
Of course, I'll just take trips, for a couple of weeks at a time and travel. But I definitely would like a camper. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
Howdy,
I have a motorhome. I loved having one.
I've never had one. I've had a friend had one here. He told me if I ever did one, I think I was 50 something when he had one. He called me Elliot. I don't know why people in the South can't say Elliot, but he'd go Elliot. And quite a few people call me that. And he go, you're going to love a camper, man. You sit there in the winter, the snow, deer hunt, whatever you want to do. And I said, yeah. So I've been thinking about it ever since. I still
Here
want
you
one.
would have to have what they call a four season camper.
Oh, okay.
Like up here, it has to be one that can survive the winter.
I didn't know that. Wow.
Because with the sewer, because the tank, your water tank, and then your sewer tank part, it's all plastic.
Yeah,
So
true.
in the wintertime, it'll freeze, but they have ones that are good for all four seasons. It doesn't matter wherever you are.
I'm glad you told me that because I probably would have bought a camper and headed up north. Jeez. I mean, I would have thought about it, in time because knowing how water is, but I never really thought about that.
Yeah.
Being in the South here. Yeah.
Yeah, Ryan, I don't know what the heck is with my StreamYard. I literally had to unpair it and then repair it to my channel. I have no idea what its deal is. So.
Yeah, sometimes you get glitches. Howdy, Ryan. Fishing. Hi, Indiana. Living with Sherry. I'm still used to wanting to call her by her name.
You can still call her Sherry. Hi, Jacob. How you doing?
Yeah, how you doing, Sherry? Hope you're doing good. I was in her side chat, I think, earlier today.
But yeah, when we had our logging company, our forester guy would come down and he'd get in on buying the woodlots with us. And he had one of those campers that were meant for all four seasons. So we just ran, filled his water tank up and stuff like that. And then he was fine.
Do they insulate that tank heavier on those campers, I would assume? Or they foam it?
It's constructed differently.
Okay. Thought so.
Like if you look under a regular camper, there isn't really that much stuff down there by the tanks. But if they're made for winter, plus you can have them specially made. I think the manufacturers in Texas, for like a lot of the campers and stuff.
Right. That's the one thing I would like. I debated 3 or 4 years ago, probably, maybe 5. I said, do I want a camper or do I want a Corvette? Because I used to have Corvettes when when I turned 40. I bought my first sports car, used. And I kept thinking, no, the car, I can go places. It's automatic, got air, and my truck don't right now, the little 4-wheel drive truck I got. And I said, no, I'm going to go with a car. But I got that paid off now. I can save, actually, the cash, and hopefully in time and get me a camper. And then I'll have it made then. I can go hunting. Yeah, I can go visit people. I think it'd be fun. I used to think when I was young, well, people wanted those. You know how you are when you're young? I said, oh, I'll go with a tent. It's cheap. Yeah. But as I got older, I realized campers are awesome. Now, I did want to go to the races in the 1970s in a camper because I went to Atlanta International Raceway. It was AIR back then, a stock car was, and people would be on top of their campers drinking. I mean, people drunk everywhere back then in the 70s. Back when NASCAR was really NASCAR. So. Sorry, didn't mean to interrupt.
Well, I prefer a motorhome, and then you can either get like the toy haulers, they're called. So that way you can just drive whatever toy you want in the back.
Yeah.
And then you still have like your area, for sleeping and cooking and, all that kind of stuff.
You're talking about the Toyotas, right? Toyota campers?
Well, they have ones that are called toy haulers where you could actually, some of them, you can drive a car right inside of them.
Oh,
they got a ramp that flops down and you drive up inside of it.
Oh, okay.
But some of the toy haulers are actually, like a fifth wheel or tow behind.
Right.
But I like better to drive it and either tow the car or I'll just drive it around. Hi, Tennessee Bushcrafter. How's it going?
I had a friend back in the, I met her in the 90s. I actually seen her years before that. And she had went up to Lake Lanier at her house and spent a week, I think a week up there, a weekend. I can't remember now. And she had an in-ground pool. It was a nice week. I stayed up there. She had says, you want to go? I need somebody to move my camper. And I says, I'll go because I can figure things out. I got there, man. It was this big giant thing like Hank Jr. would be touring in. Had the jacks, the air jacks, electronic and everything. I actually got that thing, those jacks pulled up, moved it across the lot, and she was shocked. And sat there, and I got the book out first and looked through it right quick, and then kind of figured it out and moved it across the parking lot, parked it, and I told her, I said, you need a few boards in here to allow for the uneven surface. Get you a few whatever chop blocks. Well, not a chop block, but you know what I mean, to put under the jack stands. I said, that's what you need because you can't just rely on just the jacks. I could tell the way it was doing. And I said, throw a few of those in there and you'll be fine. And she sold that thing, I think for about $20,000. Well, it was nice. TV, leather sofa. I mean, it was really best one I never thought I would drive one just for a short period.
Yeah.
Distance.
Me too, Tennessee. Me too. And have an in-ground pool in it too.
Howdy, Southern Song. What's their name? Southern Song and Grown?
Wendy.
Wendy?
Yeah.
Hi, Wendy. Nice to meet you.
I don't know everybody's name, but I know some of them.
Yeah, I kind of feel like an idiot here because they come in. I want to call them by their channel name, and in our community where I'm from, we typically do that. I don't know of very few people call you by name. What is that?
That's what my book is for.
Oh, well, yeah, I got you. I tend to still try to remember. I was a former salesman at one time too, so I tend to try to keep everything in my head. And but I am writing stuff down now more than I used to, even show notes. I got a big old.
You go in so many channels like communities and stuff that True. I can't. There's so many names that I see between everywhere that I go that I can't remember them all.
I got you. Yeah, I'm struggling too. I remember a few the other day. Sherry, I know. I ran into her a few weeks ago, and I remember her and watching her, stream, and a few others. Nitro, Great Farmer, Lazy Days, Jesse and Lisa. Some of them I've kind of forget. I try to go in there. I've been going there all day from time to time. Whenever a live comes up from this community, I go in there and I'll say hello and watch them a while. Sometimes I try to watch the whole show, but sometimes I can't. I'll watch maybe an hour, 30 minutes, But there's some good stuff out there, content.
Yes, there is.
Amazing. I know you got chickens, right? I think I watched a thing on it.
Yes, I have. We have 11 hens, a rooster, a tom turkey, and 2 female turkeys. And then inside I have 3 cats, 2 dogs, and a baby mouse.
Wow. Yeah. I used to have when I was 11, I think, yeah, 11, 12, 13. I had about 10 chickens and one rooster. And I moved up, me and my mother and brother moved in on a 20-acre, at one time was a farm. It did have a barn, but the barn was kind of going to crap. I'd still climb up in it, though. It had horse stalls, but we didn't have horses. She had got rid of the horses years before. She was a fairly wealthy woman. Her family actually ran a dairy farm down in Doraville, Georgia, back in maybe 40s and 50s. And we wound up moving on her property for a few years. Tennessee Bushcrafter, good to see you. Good to see all of you. I'm so used to scrolling, I tend to want to go over there and scroll. I need to go to the other side probably and just make it shrink the box down. That way I can scroll it. But yeah, I seen him earlier, said hello. He goes, I think he said, are you following me? And I says, no.
I think I watched that, Chris. If I remember correctly, I think I watched when you did that journal.
If I forget your names, guys and gals, I'm sorry. Sometimes I may just refer to you by your channel name. I'm going to have to get a book out, and I actually buy books like she's got, and I got quite a few around here. I may have to do that until I memorize it. So.
Hi, Christian Magician. How are you doing? Hi, Janet.
I seen his video, a little bit of his video. I watched a little bit of his.
I remember seeing one that somebody did, that they did the leather. Would you get off of my cord, you dingy kitten? Get over the shirt. Go play with a mouse. Well, you should have recorded it. But I did watch one where somebody made it out of leather and then they engraved it, the leather. So
was that a stream today, Tasha? Wasn't it?
Well,
I was watching. I was watching one today, and they was talking about leather. And I said something about what's her name? Triple Threat Firearms.
Well, that's Tarsha.
Okay, yeah. I was watching theirs, and I mentioned something about leather. I said I wanted a big piece of leather. I'm gonna dye it black, and I want to put glue it to my bedroom door. They kind of wondered why, and I said it's just decoration. It's also they used it. Elvis Presley used it for soundproofing. His bedroom was actually soundproof, walls up, ceiling, everything. But I always thought that was cool. Every time I see a video back when I was young, of those black doors that swing open in his bedroom like that. Because I think they're buttoned though and foam padded or cotton padded probably. Back in the 60s, but I've always wanted to do my bedroom door black leather, which is crazy. I know. Hey, I'm a kid from the 60s and 70s now, somewhat. So I can be weird, I guess. They say his home is exactly the way it was the day he died. Well, it's actually not. I can tell you that. She actually restored that to more her subtle tones of white carpet and all that. It was red when he passed away. So anyway, enough of that story.
Hey, Mark. Hi, Ted. How you doing?
Yeah, I was on one of her streams, I think, last week or week before last, Tarsha. And, she was very engaging. They actually spoke my name out and thanked me for putting input. I don't always go in a channel and do input, but when it's 2A or something more serious, I tend to, if I know something, I'll say it. Put it that way. I'll talk about it. I seen his video once, him and his wife, Corner Clubhouse, Cobalt 66.
Yeah, Mark. His name's Mark.
Nice to meet you, Mark. Off the Hook Outdoors, I'm not familiar with.
That's
I'm even.
He makes baits.
Oh, okay. What kind of baits? Baits, B-A-I-T.
I'm gonna show you.
Okay.
All these rubber baits are handmade. He makes them all himself.
Okay. Fishing, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. I like that.
Yeah. They're all handmade.
Yeah. I hadn't
So,
fished with something like that in a long time, or even a store-bought rubber one.
and these
Definitely
ones
not a
are
handmade.
cool.
Oh, nice. Cool. That is good. Says they are. You were. Yeah, yeah. We were.
Mark, I'm doing all right. I go see urology on Monday, so hopefully they can figure out what's going on. Because I know I ain't gonna keep dealing with the way I'm feeling right now. Hiya,
Sorry.
chef. How's it going?
Hey, Vicky Wells. I've seen her on streaming. Good to see you.
Yeah, Vicky.
I have went on Drunken Chef's website. In time, guys, I'm gonna watch some videos of all of you, and I try to at least once a day watch one video and make a comment from time to time. So give me time. I'll get around to you. Definitely.
But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a playlist.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna go through and grab a video from every. I don't even know how many I follow, but
Mm-hmm.
the list is long, so I doubt I could get through them all in one night. But I want to make a playlist and at least put at least a 5-minute video from everybody in there and just run it
Right.
because that way it'll autoplay.
Yeah, I heard about. I knew the list. I was aware of it for years. I heard you all talking about it the other week or something, and about the autoplay that people were actually to get channel time that in this community was actually sitting there putting it on, leaving it on like while they do housework or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I thought that's cool. So I actually put my morning coffee streams that I actually had, and I titled it different and put it in a playlist because I was listening to you talk about it, and somebody else, I think. I can't remember
Yeah,
who
see,
else.
like my lives, I have to go back through and put them back in, but I put my lives all in one playlist
Mm-hmm.
because very rarely are my lives under 2 hours.
Right. Yeah, I used to do 2 hour right on the. Sometimes I'd run if the show goes good. I'll go over 30 minutes, and I have went 3 hours a few times. But yeah, I remember Vicky. I was in there. I'm trying to think of everybody I was in to see. God, there's so many. I remember it in my head. I remember this, the video a little bit here and there, but I can't think of all the channels I've visited.
Well,
I
that's
know I've
where
seen.
I'm bad at too because I'm like, I like lives better, and I'm not saying that people's content aren't good,
Mm-hmm.
but I like going in, and being able to interact like this, even if I'm in chat, you can see the person.
Mm-hmm.
And to
Me
me,
too.
it's more personable.
Yes.
But I still do my best to watch videos, but I pop in and out of lives all day and
Mm-hmm.
probably even in my sleep.
Wow. Yeah, I lost some videos when my channel got deleted because it wasn't taken down. I put actually some back up, and I haven't made much content, but I've done a lot of live streams. Actually, if you go on my channel, a lot of live streams I did, they're gone. I actually just deleted them. I've done probably a bunch of them. I was talking to Bob today about my show. I did have one, and I still will. I did have 8 p.m. time slot Eastern Standard Time at Thursday night. I would do a 2-hour reloading gun discussion show, and I've had some medical things, getting some shots, and working on a car, and I've kind of postponed that show at night.
Yeah.
But I told him I am going to throw up some 12 to 2:30 p.m. Eastern Time, some coffee from the reloading bench daytime chats
There you
occasionally.
go.
So I don't want to make a show regular. I did Thursday night became a thing that I had to prepare for every Thursday. So I come up with this idea a long time, maybe 6 months ago. I says, I told a friend of mine, I said, I know what I'll do. I'll just throw a show up. There is no schedule. I'll pop up. One day, if I feel like it, I'll do it. And I've enjoyed that because if I feel like it, I'll come in here and bring the water and, my drinks, and I'll fire one up for maybe 30 minutes to an hour, sometimes longer. Yeah. And I enjoy that. But I'll eventually go back to Thursday nights streaming. So.
Yeah. Well, like with
sometime.
Shane, when he
Mm-hmm.
does his live, he'll always ask, who is going live next. Because like my
Yeah.
time, he goes 9:30 to 11:30. So he'll always ask in chat, who's going live next. And originally,
Mm-hmm.
him and I were talking about doing the truck stop right after his morning live. And I
Right.
said, well, the truck stop's more of a nighttime thing. So if I was doing that,
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to maybe use a different channel or something. But I'm not a huge morning person. And only because it takes with my back and stuff, it takes a long time to function.
I got you on that, Tasha. I know what you're talking about. I
Devin, I
got some
definitely would
issues.
freak out too if somebody was doing reloads and smoking.
Mm-hmm. But I enjoy lives. I mean, I don't really, I can edit. I'm not great at it, but I can edit videos. And sometimes I'll sit around and think of it, but I wind up going on a stream or creating a stream typically. I just like, on a stream, you can talk to side chat, people on the panel. And I just like that better too. I'm that way. So it's just, I enjoy it more. Actually, I got invited verbally on a show that's, God, they got about 40, 50 people on it at night. And I kind of told them I was a little bit busy. And I had a few things to do around here earlier, so I didn't go on.
What you doing tonight, Judy May?
Oh, hey, Judy May. I say hello to her quite a bit. I see her out there.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Our New Land, I think I've seen. Yeah, it's familiar. Ventures with Jamie. And there's Brutal Bob.
Well, you know what, Berta Bob? Maybe you need to call old, what the heck do you call him? Sparkle Socks or whatever the heck I don't even remember what the heck he calls them. But maybe you need to call him and send him over there. Or the
Shoot, Bob,
mommy.
like I was saying earlier, boy, I'm bad at calling when my internet goes down. I call them 5 times a day, 10 times. And they told me one time my worker come out here like a few years ago, and he says, you keep calling them, it works, don't it? And I said, yeah. It took me 10 days of calling them constantly to get a bucket, what they call it, a bucket out here. And they
Yeah.
had to go stand in it and go up on the pole because the person that installed my internet didn't know what they were doing. They crossed the wires out here on a pole. Yeah, and I had to be without internet for 10 days just because of him. And
Yeah, it's crazy.
yeah, so they sent a real tech out. They told me what it was. The contractors that they hire aren't that,
Mm-hmm.
they don't know the system very well. They know the basics of wire, and he said about 90% of all work of the private contractors they hire, they have to go back and rework it. I went, wow.
Yeah.
I
Hi,
said, yeah,
Beverly.
yeah, I miss Shane's morning thing.
He
I'm still
hasn't
doing
done
it.
it in 2 days.
Mm-hmm.
I did it yesterday. I didn't do it today because I wasn't feeling too hot.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I still don't feel good, but I ain't gonna miss this. And if I did, or if I
Mm-hmm.
thought I was gonna miss it, like if I was gonna miss tomorrow, I'd say in this live, hey, look, I got to do this tomorrow, so I won't be live. But then it gives me anxiety when I don't go live.
Right.
I don't know
Actually,
why.
I was looking for you this morning. Actually, thought maybe you might fill in, and didn't see you. So
If I was feeling good, then I would have done the morning show because normally
got you.
that's what I do. And I know it was on the other foot. Shane would do the truck stop as well.
Mm-hmm. I figured something was wrong. Or, you told me about your back, and things.
Yeah, Chris, it's ridiculous with these phone companies. And you're basically at the mercy of what they're saying.
Yeah, especially if they're the only internet provider there is.
Yeah.
You are. Mm-hmm.
I mean, here we have option. The one mom has now, but
Mm-hmm.
then they did the fiber. They put that out here. Well, going fiber isn't going to save us any money, so what's the point of doing it?
Have you got the fiber now, Tasha?
No, we just
Okay.
have.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. It's not as high speed as like Time Warner or whatever the main one is here, but
Right.
it serves its purpose
Mm-hmm.
90% of the time, anyways. There's an occasion where it will go out.
Mm-hmm. I had before I got fiber, I had what was it, about 60 to 70 download and about
Mm-hmm.
13 to 14 megabits upload. Well, that was perfect for streaming. But the problem is, every time my router would go start getting weird, when you start dropping out like 2 megabits per second,
Yeah.
oh God, I would fuzz out and crash during the live stream, go back there and reboot the router again. And I'm glad I went to fiber, not at first because I had so many problems with it. And but once they got it straightened out, I like fiber.
Well, our
So,
phone lines out here where we are, because we're not super close to. There's like no stores in our town.
mm-hmm.
Without driving 15 minutes. So probably like 5 miles to the east of us.
Wow.
That's like the oldest phone lines in the area. Is like out there to where it connects into here. And their
Gotcha.
boxes, like I've drove by when they're working on them boxes. Them boxes are a mess. And all
Mm-hmm.
our like junction boxes are on the ground. They have
Wow.
like boxes that are like this tall, and there's a
Right.
bunch of wires and stuff in there. All right, Christian
Gotcha.
magician, thanks for coming in. Good night. God bless.
Good to
Bye.
see you. There's Skipper. I remember that name, right?
Yeah,
Got that. I do silver too. Morgan,
hi, Marty and
American.
Jamie. How's it going?
I do American silver American Eagles. Used to over the years, you can get those Eagles in a magazine like 10 or 11 bucks a piece. Years ago, I got out
Yeah,
of the hospital one time and I ordered like 10 or 20 of them. I said, hey, and I'd call them up and put in an order and get them cheap. And now my daughter checked them a while back and they were fairly high at one time. And they're actually graded, and sealed in plastic.
yeah.
I can't remember their rating though right now. Gem, I got some gem rated. I forget the others. 60 MS 69, and a few silver dollars like that. I love silver dollars though. Always have.
I like being out and finding like old pennies, old wheat pennies.
Yeah, yeah. I actually got from my aunt. She passed away back in the '90s. I actually got a rolled set of wheat pennies from her in a little wooden box. Now I didn't make it, Judy May. I talked to her this evening, text her a few times. She's going to drive out here and see me tomorrow. I told her I could come out there, but she's going to come here. And I got to return a tool I borrowed because apparently I'm not going to be using it right now. I borrowed a electrical lug nut tool to pull. I got some big tires on this car. They're 275 45 Z17 or something. I can't remember. They're huge. And I need to get that back to her. So she's going to ride out here and see me for about 30 minutes. I ride out
Yeah,
in her
I
house sometimes
have
every
a bunch
week.
of wheat pennies. I don't know where they ever disappeared to.
Now, my daughter, she lives out in the country. I'm rural and I got farm right behind me. Nothing but trees, but I am in a neighborhood and she's totally rural where she's at.
Yeah,
She's out in the country on a long, winding road. And a lot of land there. They got an historical, it's a 1800 something barn. The roof is starting to fall in, but you can't touch it. Something about the law. and about 17 or 20 horse stables and a creek in the backyard. And my daughter actually seen a picture of it where Indians were standing at that creek in the 1800s. There were Indians all over that area. So that's
cool.
kind of cool. Art.
Yeah, if you type art, my Nightbot drops you.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, my bot. In time, I'll get with you if you would. We'll get mine straightened out. I messed it up. So.
Well, like I said, if you see Ryan the Techzilla throughout, during the day, because right now it's
5 hours ahead. Is he in the UK?
2:30 in the morning where Ryan is, but he's the one that set up my Nightbot.
Okay.
So he knows a lot more about Nightbot than I do.
Right. I did watch Lexus dude. He had a video on it a little bit, so I didn't. I have to watch it maybe 2 times and I'll figure it out, but I just didn't. But yeah, I'll talk with Ryan about it and get it.
Well,
it's only $2.
Yeah, well, Ryan will set up a stream and you guys can have a private stream and set it up.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, that'll help me. I may space it out. I think I can space it out right where it don't pop up often, like with a timer.
Hi, Chuck. How's it going?
I've seen that channel. Nice to meet you, Laughing Belinda and Chuck. I'm trying to think of some of the ones I've watched. I've watched so many. It's hard to think.
But yeah, Ryan's good with Nightbot. Pretty much a lot of people in the community that have Nightbot, he's the one who set it up for them.
Yeah, I like him. He's a nice guy. Easy to talk to.
Yeah, he helped me set mine up in a private stream. It's just easier because, then you can have, if people need help with this or that, then you can do it in private.
Yeah, I prefer it that way too.
And Bruda Bob, if I could, I would come up and take care of both of you.
I hope you get better, Bob. Man, I talked to him today for a minute. When I first heard him, I could tell that stuff's kicking him there for a minute. My daughter, I told him she's had it maybe 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, this is his 5th time. With the kid, and it's not easy.
Yeah, I've been worried about my daughter ever since COVID hit. I'm worried about her. Her health's not that good, and she's still young, but I've been worried about her quite a bit because she's got it so much. I mean, she says she's exhausted. She couldn't move. They think she may even have a blood clot in her, but they couldn't find it. And I told her the other day when she visited the other week, I said, you need to go to a doctor now if they think you got a blood clot. Don't sit there and wait for weeks. Get in there. That blood clot can kill you in a second.
Yeah. I'm working on it, Bruda Bob, but still doesn't mean I wouldn't come and take care of both of you.
He's a nice guy. It's good to talk to him. I enjoy talking to him.
If you get to know my mother, you'll know exactly where my stubbornness comes from.
My mother was that way too. She was a hard woman. My mother was. You didn't mess with her.
My mom's been through a lot in her life.
Right.
My biological dad passed away in 85. I was 7, so she had to, go through that, and then, all that stuff takes a toll. And then my other dad, I don't like calling him my stepdad because he's my dad. We lost him in 2017, so.
Oh, not that long ago.
We have each other, so we get through it. But it was still tough. I mean, I was 7. And I still remember that day like it was yesterday, and it's been, I think, like 37 years, I think.
You never forget family members.
No.
I remember when I was 8 years old, I seen my first death, and that was my grandmother. And for that, she was at my mother. My mother actually took care of her instead of putting her in a home for 5 solid years. She was in a baby bed. She had a stroke and it affected her mind. And she had a doll, and she'd lay there, and sometimes she'd holler out, "Roy, Rachel." My mother's name was Rachel, and she was thinking back. That's the only thing she could remember, thinking back of her kids when they were small. And I
Yeah.
thought, wow, I remember her. Actually, I remember her calling that out, and she passed. And
Very,
fortunately,
very true, Skipper. We definitely don't stop, no matter how big they get.
yeah, it's true. We don't stop worrying about it.
And Brutal Bob, trust me, if I came up there to take care of you guys, you bet your butt that my mom would be right with us. We'd have to show up in a bus.
How old is your mom, Tasha?
You had to put.
Did I put you on the spot?
Gotta get out the calculator.
Let's see. There she is. How you doing? Hope you're doing good.
Well, that's good, Rich. I hope you guys can get a nice big salmon, because I would definitely um like to see one caught in person and not just on videos.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
But she'll be 64 years young in October.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And she's still healthy as a horse.
Good. Yeah. My mother, we back in '97, we lost my aunt in her 70s and my mother 9 months apart at the same time, same year. 2 family members gone,
Give me a
unfortunately.
second, I'll be right back.
Okay. She says 63. Hey, I'm 30. I used to say I'm 39 and holding. Now I'm what, 49, 59 and holding. Yeah, I was hoping you'd catch a fish. Canadian fishing musician. That'd been cool. Or your wife. I missed years ago. You could here in the state, you could go up lake. You probably heard of Lake Lanier down here. I don't know. A lot of people have. It's one of the biggest lakes in Georgia, and we don't have really huge lakes here in Georgia, so it's big. It used to be farmland decades ago. It feeds the Chattahoochee River. Some of you probably heard of it. But in the 70s, you could go up there, get you a cooler, $10, $5 worth of gas, dig your worms, get a cooler full of food, and go up there and camp anywhere you want, bank, cove, even behind people's house. If their backyard was Lake Lanier, that you would have access to the bank there, and you could pitch your tent literally almost in their backyard and sit there and fish back in those days. And things kind of got crazy in the 70s. I think a lot of shootings and knife fights, and unfortunately, and they stopped it. Now it's you got to reserve and pay only. And I miss those days. 1980s came along. I actually went up there with my second wife, 85, and I just started camping in coves. I was illegally camping, but I told her, I said, I'm not going to pay. I'm not going to call up and reserve some campsite. So I just went up there and pitched my tent for like 2 days in a cove and sat there and caught fish.
Yeah.
Granted, I'd got a ticket, if they'd caught me, but everybody's seen me though. Houses everywhere, houseboats, so I didn't get in trouble though. But I won't do that now.
My grandma's 84. My mom's mom is 84.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my grandmother lived to be, I think, 83. I think it was.
Okay.
My father would have lived, I think he was 72. He would have lived, hadn't been for it. My father literally got cancer. I don't want to get medical here, but he got cancer, wouldn't go back to the doctor. You know how men are stubborn. It wound up taking him out. If he would have went and followed up care, he could have lived maybe who knows how many years. But
Yeah.
I remember I met him once and I says, I can't believe he wouldn't go to the doctor. Why you never followed up? But he didn't. Guys, decades ago, people don't know that a lot of men didn't want to go to the doctor. They were funny about that.
Yeah, that's me. I don't like going to the doctor myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Skipper.
See, I fish for perch every year.
I've never caught perch, actually.
I love perch.
Mm-hmm. I've caught cats, channel cats. I've caught brim, bluegill, and bass. And I hadn't really fished in quite, I think, since my friend passed away a few years ago. I had a friend that passed away at 45 years old, years back. And we went fishing right before he passed. The sad part. Yeah, it's true, Skipper. I've seen that. Boy. I told my daughter a while back, I said, hey, everybody I know is gone. Just about. And my whole family, except my brother. He's still here with me. He's 4 years younger than me. I like to eat perch, though. I have ate that.
Yeah, I love it.
Mm-hmm. I typically around here, if I want fish, I go to Captain D's. And yeah, it's not the. I love seafood. I'm big on seafood. Get me in Florida, one of those restaurants or bars. I'll eat everything.
I
Well,
can
most
be
everything.
everybody's daughter, Judy May.
Hey, Tasha could probably be my daughter. I'm so old. Yeah.
You're not old. I'll be 45 in February.
Mm-hmm.
See, I may not remember a lot of dates and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But I know my dad's birthday, my mom's, my other dad's. I know when my mom and my biological dad got married.
Mm-hmm.
Because it was all like close together to when I was going to be born. And then they couldn't even get that right.
I'm good. Before these phones, I was really good at memorizing phone numbers. I used to have a ton of stuff in my head.
Mm-hmm.
People would ask me, but now I can't even tell you. Only the birthday I know is my daughter. I don't even remember my mother's birthday. Isn't that horrible? But I'll admit it. Here live. I know it's in August, but
Thank you,
I just
Gary.
Chinese seafood 10. Bushcrafter says. I went there a while back and their fish was kind of stale and I didn't like it. But typically, if it's fresh, it's not too bad. But it's definitely not what I call real. We had a place back in the 90s in Norcross, Georgia. Now, they were a buffet seafood. You get everything, crab legs, big old bar and all that. That was good stuff. All you could eat, I think, was like $13 back in 1990.
Yeah, I love sushi. That's like, I could literally eat sushi every day. Sushi and rice.
Mm-hmm. I've never had that, Tasha. I've had crab legs, oysters. I love oysters. I'm an oyster nut. Raw is how I like them. Most oysters. Oh, go ahead.
I was just saying hi to Leash.
How do you pronounce that?
I think Leash, but then
Liege.
It's like, do I call him Edward?
Okay. Liege. I thought it was Liege, something like that. I was on his channel the other day. Seeing it.
You haven't had sushi, you said?
No, I've never had sushi. I've never really. It's fun. I love oysters. I used to, when I was young, I said, don't. A friend of mine said something about raw oyster. And I said, I ain't eating that garbage. I was 1983. I was in a bar, and some people at a contact lens company my brother worked for, girls were at a table, and back then I was a sucker for ladies. And I walked by and they go, here, they knew I was my brother's, that I was his brother. And they go, here, I walked by and I says, I've never ate those things. And they go, here, try it. And I wasn't going to say no. So I tried it and I became a raw oyster eater and I love them.
I love raw clams. I haven't had oysters in a long time. For a while, I didn't like them. And then I had them at a different place raw.
Mm-hmm.
They do them different. This was an actual oyster bar.
Right.
And the way that they did theirs is really good. And with sushi, um, it depends on like our one grocery store, they make it fresh. Like you can get the sushi rolls. A lot of the time they do use smoked stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's not always like raw. Like sometimes it is. Like you can get it's a small piece of salmon in there with like cucumber and avocado, and I can sit there and eat like 5 plates of it.
Wow.
And then like salmon and tuna, I'll only eat it raw. I do not like cooked salmon or cooked tuna.
I've never ate that raw. Uh-uh. I love.
Raw,
I've been at the oyster bars where you're talking about where they sit there and shuck them right there
yeah,
and give them to you. Best oysters I ever ate was on Beeford Highway. They were like big silver dollars, huge. And one night I was drinking in this place, and I sat there and went through 4 dozen of them things, large.
mm-hmm.
I was full, plus drinking the beer. And I used to go out every winter and go to a place like that. If it wasn't an oyster bar, at least a bar or restaurant that would serve oysters, I would deliberately go and get a plate, at least one plate or two. And I miss them.
Yeah,
I hadn't had them in a while.
raw clams.
Mm-hmm.
I'll eat them cooked, but I prefer them raw. Like I'll just set them on the grill long enough to pop the shell open,
Mm-hmm.
and then I just crack it the rest of the way open, and put a little homemade cocktail sauce on it,
Oh yeah.
or dip them in a little melted butter, or like oysters are good with like, because this place they did them. They had the coarse salt, so they put like a little bit of coarse salt, and they had like all different condiments on the table, like the Louisiana hot sauce, Tabasco sauce, cocktail sauce, however you wanted them. They had it like all set up there, and they'd bring you out this huge platter of oysters, and they were so good.
Wow.
The other time I had them, I did not like them at all.
I've had the same experience. I have went out to a few place here and there years ago because I went out a lot eating them. I had a few bad. It wasn't that good. But boy, when they're good, they're good. I
Yeah,
think. Crab legs I like,
yes,
dipped in butter. Mm-hmm.
like right now, I've been craving like the hugest lobster that I could buy in the store, and I could sit there and eat that whole thing myself. I don't care if it was 5 pounds, 8 pounds. I'm eating the whole thing myself.
I haven't ate lobster since 1990. Yeah, long time.
It's good
Gary's
broiled.
return. Yeah, I seen his comment, Gary, on the retired life made me think of the crab legs I ate years ago. Took my wife out too, and we ate. She liked them. But yeah, I'm more seafood. Seafood is my favorite. Italian. I eat some Mexican food, and I got tortilla chips in there. Sometimes I'll make homemade cheese nachos with cheddar cheese and put sour cream on it. And, I even do my chili. I put chips, tortilla chips in the bowl and put the chili on it, heat it up, and put cheddar cheese on top, warm it up in the microwave, and then I take and put sour cream on top.
Yeah,
Eat it.
making the chili cheese nachos is good too. It's the same concept.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I used to I still love cheese nachos and cheese, man. Especially with cheddar on. I used to go to a bar back in the 80s, and man, they were like $1.80 or $2. They'd bring out with a plate, and it'd be about a half-inch thick of cheese, just thick as all get out. And I would buy it, especially when they had a special on it.
Here it's with Red Lobster, where they had the specials where you could go in and have the all you can eat, but technically it's not really all you can eat.
Mm-hmm.
But the one place that I really liked going, Golden Corral, it's a huge
Mm-hmm.
buffet place, but they had that was like the best buffet in the area. Um, area just type art, ART.
I've been there, Tasha. I was there. Me and my roommate went there a few months ago. Boy, was it good. I like
Yeah,
that
they
place
closed
too.
ours here when the vid
Mm-hmm.
happened. Ours closed,
Mm-hmm. We
but
had.
they had seafood, salad, steak,
Mm-hmm.
uh, chocolate fountain to dip fruit in, ice cream. Like
Mm-hmm.
they had like a little bit of everything, but they did the seafood too.
Mm.
Um,
Yeah, I did eat some seafood when I went. Yeah.
you know,
Mm-hmm. They closed. It's weird you said they closed down because they closed one down here near Stone. You know, you've heard of Stone Mountain, Georgia.
mhm.
Yeah, they closed that one down. They had one a few miles from it, but it was near it. They closed it down. They only got one now in Conyers, Georgia, and Winder. The one in Stone Mountain they closed had the more food than I've ever seen in my life. The Winder store has like a quarter of that amount, and the one in Conyers has maybe half of the amount. It's just
Hey,
Conyers is
Scott,
better.
how's it going?
Howdy Rambling with the Brahms. I think I said, yeah, I watched a little bit of their channel
Broom,
too.
rambling with the brooms. His
How do
name's
you pronounce
Scott.
brooms? How do you say that?
Brooms.
Brooms? Okay. I didn't know if it was Brom. I
His
call it
first
Brom.
name is Scott.
Okay. Brutal Bob, don't eat seafood. My mother was that way. She did not like seafood her whole life. And my brother back in I think the 80s took her to Captain D's. And
Mm,
after that, hey, let's go to Captain D's. Even though it's, chain, she loved it. And she was never a person to eat fish. And my aunt and
look,
mother grew up on a farm. And my
Scott,
aunt
if
didn't like,
Jamie, come get her then.
hmm,
Sorry, go ahead.
no, sorry, I talked over you.
It's all good. I told you that the other night when
I
everybody
know.
was talking and
I
I
know.
was just sitting here. Don't. If
I
there's a
know.
bunch of us up here, don't worry about if I'm just sitting here because I listen.
Yeah, I
I don't
noticed that. Tasha, I actually felt bad. I was in your stream and us guys were talking. You were just sitting there listening. I thought, because see, and my side, when I'm running, of course, I'm running a show. It's not a casual show typically. And if I see somebody sitting there, I'll pull them out of the box and I'll talk to them. I go, uh, what you got going, or what are you working on? What guns you buy this week? Something like that. So I make them talk, basically, engage them. You know, and so I'm
know
kind of
because
used.
like what you guys were talking about,
Mm-hmm.
I always find interesting because sometimes we all like the same thing, or sometimes people have an idea to do something, and so that's why I like to listen.
Oh, okay,
And I don't care if there's 10 people up here and you guys are talking about a topic. I'll listen. It doesn't
gotcha.
bother me. Like to me, you know, what everybody wants to talk about when they're up there is fine with me. It gives me a chance to, watch the
Mm-hmm.
chat. You know,
Yeah.
and so don't ever feel bad if there's other people up here and you guys are having a conversation and I'm not saying anything.
Okay.
If it's a
Yeah, I was
problem,
thinking. I was actually thinking of you. I was thinking that night. I says, Tasha's up there and we're ignoring her, and that's what I thought
no, you're
because we
not.
were all busy talking. So
No, no, I
but
don't. I don't. That doesn't bother me at all.
I got you. I kind of thought it probably didn't, but I just didn't. I felt weird about it there for a little bit. I said, oh, I
Well,
said, she.
yeah, I know, but I'm just
Mm-hmm.
saying you don't have to, because a lot of time, Shane's interested in a lot of stuff that like we do down here
Mm-hmm.
that per se they can't do up there. So
Right.
when it's like a certain topic, like that, then he wants to engage in that. And I have no problem, you know what I mean? Because like you and I know different stuff, like with what's in your room right now,
Mm-hmm.
That Shane finds interesting because it's not something that, is very knowledgeable unless you're around it.
Right.
So, and I know he was having a good time talking to you about, that stuff and everything. So, no, it doesn't. Tennessee Bushcrafter, if you want to come up and talk about Bigfoot, come on up. Don't bother
Bigfoot.
me.
Bigfoot's not real.
I don't know if he's real or he's not real, but I've been up in the mountains and heard some pretty strange noises.
Yeah. Some people swear he's real. That's for sure. I used to watch the X-Files, one of my favorite shows.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of I don't know why that reminded me of X-Files, but it did. And I still watch it occasionally. Sometimes I go right through the whole seasons all over again.
Well, we have Roku, so like on there you can watch like all the older shows like what I grew up with.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they're before me, but like MASH, Twilight Zone. Yeah. Sometimes you can find Mork and Mindy.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I remember that show.
Lone Ranger.
I watched that as a kid.
Old shows like that. Knight Rider I've seen on there.
Yeah. What's weird about me is I worked night shifts most of my life. I did not watch TV hardly in the 70s, the 80s, didn't watch it, and the 90s. And then when I started retiring, I watched it, occasionally, intermittent, especially when I was married, like from 80 to 83. But once I went single, I literally didn't watch TV much anymore. And if I did watch TV back in the early 90s, it was VH1 music videos. A lot on weekends. You remember those days, probably, somewhat. I don't know if 1990s they had VH1, and finally, what was it? What's that? MTV went crazy. MTV used to do a lot of rock at one time.
Well, you're definitely tall enough, big man. And Tennessee Bushcrafter, yes, and it's the same thing when it comes to the ocean. There's places in the ocean that don't have the technology to go without imploding. So you never know what's down there working in the depths.
That's true. Howdy Outdoors, Big Mac. Good to see you. I actually got, right now there's a story on the internet, and in Spain, the water is receded, and it shows an entire 70-something AD fort where the Roman soldiers were. The walls and everything are still there. And it shows it from space, and it's on the internet right now, the story is. I forget how I ran into it. That was cool.
There's a show. What the heck is that show? What it would look like if the oceans were empty or something like that, or if they emptied the oceans. I can't remember the exact name, but it like takes the water away, and it shows like all the underneath parts and all the like deep holes, and and it talks about the different places and like Bermuda Triangle, and I mean, it's kind of like computer animated, but
right.
I find it interesting.
I'd like to see that. I'm gonna look that up. I like stuff like that. This fort was amazing. I seen the aerial view, then I seen the side view. I think they said it housed probably, they estimate maybe 600 Roman soldiers in Spain. And matter of fact, you all have heard about, was it that lake out in California or Tahoe? What is it, Lake Mead?
Lake Tahoe.
Yeah, you heard about the barrels and the bodies in them? They're finding barrels, and they know it's mob. Actually, some of the mob guys on YouTube said if it's in a barrel, it's a mob hit, a mob disposal, anyway.
Yeah.
I think they found 2 barrels so far. Could be 3, but I know 2 I've heard of. I was thinking it was Lake Mead, but apparently I got the name wrong. I'd have to go on the other side and look at it.
Yeah, human remains were found in Lake Mead.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I follow. I know some of you may not. I follow Michael Francis, former Colombo family mob guy. He's got a channel. I follow him and watch his shows. And sometimes I watch Sammy the Bull, his show. And boy, they got some interesting stories. Boy, they're good storytellers. Now, Michael Francis, he's a motivational speaker, and he goes around the whole world and gives speeches about how the negotiation, because he learned a lot from having to negotiate in a sit down. And the things he teaches is absolutely good to get ahead and meet people about networking with each other and things. And he supposedly ran the biggest thing in New York, got $6 to $10 million a week, screwing up. Excuse my language, screwing up the federal government so they could not get tax on gasoline back in the 80s.
Yeah, it's called Drain the Oceans.
Okay, I'll look
It's
that
an
up.
Australian British documentary
Mm-hmm.
that premiered in 2018 on National Geographic. It's a 25-part factual series,
Oh, wow.
and it was hosted by Russell Buelter, I think
Mm-hmm.
is his name. And explores shipwrecks, treasures, sunken cities, underwater scanning, scientific data, and art digital recreations. So
I'll
it's a
check
really cool show.
Drain the Oceans. I'll check that
Yep,
out.
in the oceans. Yep.
Yeah, I love history and about Rome and how societies fall, and I love a lot of history. I watch it a lot on YouTube.
Yeah, I like that myself.
Egyptian stuff, the what they call pyramids, how they're designed is kind of weird. They don't know why they designed them the way they did, but they did. I know I used to
Oh,
watch
yeah.
go ahead.
Now the lake here,
Mm-hmm.
Sacandaga Lake, they actually made that lake as man-made. So it's like in a small valley, and they flooded it.
Oh,
So
okay.
there's farms and houses and all
Mm-hmm.
kinds of stuff in the bottom of that lake from where they flooded it.
Hmm. Lake Lanier was done that way in Georgia back in the 50s, I think. I went to a doctor. I used to go to, well, I still do. I would go to Philadelphia College of Medicine because of my back. And they were telling, Dr. Depp, I went to for 20 years, was telling me that Lake Lanier had got low back when the drought, I think it was 2008. And they actually seen the seats of a former racetrack underneath there. But underneath Lake Lanier is like you're talking about. They flooded farms. A lot of stuff is still down there. Graves are down there, probably tombstones, everything, guys and gals. I mean, it's amazing what's underwater. But they flooded it, and it actually feeds the Chattahoochee River. And Atlanta, they get their water from that, and Gwinnett County does from the Chattahoochee River. I used to go out there to Chattahoochee and fish occasionally and swim on a Saturday or Sunday, sit around on the rocks. Back when you could do things.
Yeah, I like that show. That show is super interesting.
I never went up to Lake Lanier when it was actually '08. I found it on the internet, and I was actually looking at docks and the coves of the lake near people's houses, and there was no water there. I told Randy, a roommate back then, I said, "Man, you wouldn't believe how Lake Lanier looks now. It's not even like the lake. You could. I went up there back one time in the '80s, and the beach used to be kind of small. I forgot about that story, and me and him went up Lake Lanier and went swimming one weekend. And I walked a long way out to the lake, and I said, "This is wild. This beach is big. It never was before. You actually had very little beach. Most of the time, you was up on the grass. Everybody would take their beer out there, or whatever, in their drinks in their cooler, and sit out there and fish or get sun. And it was a popular beach back in the day. It didn't have a name, had a nickname, but
Well, when
they
they
closed
lowered
it.
that lake,
Mm-hmm.
there's this one island that's called Sand Island, and when they lower the lake
Mm-hmm.
and the sandbar comes up, you can walk so far out on that sandbar. And even when the lake is
Wow.
full, you still have to watch where that sandbar is because
Really?
people have come up and not paying attention to the buoys and stuff, and ran their boat right up on them sandbar.
Ooh.
Hi, Blaze.
Yeah.
How's it going? Thanks for coming in.
Howdy, Blaze. Well, that's a heck of a name. Blaze.
Yeah.
Do. Okay. Radio. Looks like radio. Rodeo.
Radio show.
Okay. Yeah. Cheers, man.
Yeah, I watched their live last night.
I hadn't
I
got
go
around to
through my
that one.
list and I'm like, you know what? I haven't seen like half of these people live lately. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go in this one for a while. And Blaze, if you type art, Nightbot will drop your link.
I'm gonna try to get comfortable. I got a leather executive chair. Problem is, when I stream in it, I look like this down in a hole, and I look funny. So I sit in this kind of like drafting bar stool with a back, and it's uncomfortable. It's just the only way I can stream though, and get up near the camera. I need to put a desk over here on the left side of me. And, actually, the executive chair is in there, black leather's in there in the kitchen right now.
I sit in my recliner, but I have to put a pillow behind my back.
That's what I need. As a matter of fact, that's a good idea.
Yeah, that's cool, Tennessee. Or you said your name was Chris, but the one lake here we have, it's called Glimmer Glass. That's like the prettiest lake in New York. But we have lake trout, but they're not Alaskan lake trout. They're just lake trout.
Right. You're in New York.
Yes, I live in upstate New York. Yep, at the base of the Adirondacks.
I worked with a guy one time. He told me, he said, "Don't think of New York's just city." He said, "I live up there in a more rural area or something." I said, "Rural?" You know, this was back probably 1979. And he was from up
New
there.
York is broke down to different sections. Like you have the city, then you have upstate, then you have central, then you have western, and we're considered upstate, which includes Albany, Glens Falls, Plattsburgh. But
I've heard of Albany.
Yeah.
I read an article a few years ago, Tasha, that said that a lot of the land there in New York City was actually built up on garbage. They actually dumped so much garbage. I thought, wow, what a trip!
It is.
God, like dump garbage and build, tall buildings on it. It's amazing.
Yep. Yeah, well, it's actually Long Island too, because it's an island. It's just out there, but yeah, they used to long time ago hauled all the trash from up here to the city because they used to take it out on barges.
Right.
But now, southern New York down by Kingston, now they bring that up here. And which is weird is I would go and pick up cardboard bales right on the ocean in Boston at this big recycling plant. And they bale the cardboard. It smells horrible. And I would take that and haul it to Ticonderoga to International Paper.
Yeah.
So yeah. I'm not a fan of it. Now Long Island is pretty. You know, that Long Island is like really
I've heard of it.
Rich area. You know, it's not cheap to live down there. And Long Island is like night and day when you talk New York City because they're two separate.
Gotcha. I know I hear stories from Michael Francis Michael Francis. He talks about it, Brooklyn, growing up, and Sammy the Bull. Sammy can tell some stories, boy, if you ever check his channel out. Good Lord, he'll sit there and tell some stories. And Michael, I just like the way he tells the stories, too. He talks about sit-downs and motivation and how you got to be good at negotiation and all that. Believe it or not, I like that kind of stuff, too, which is, I like everything, really.
Blaze, I do have a bunch of, I know what your channel is about, and they do come in here also. So. I know what y'all do. It's all good. Hence why it's a truck stop. Yes, I know, Tennessee Bushcrafter. You could be. The exits here on the thruway are crazy.
Blaze says his channel's 18 and up. Music chat, cannabis friendly. May not be for some folks. Here. I remember, it seemed like when I first started watching, I seen Canadian fishing musician. I remember I've said hello to Laced a few times past a few weeks.
Yeah, Laced up his name is Matt.
Matt.
I know, Brother Bob. I have driven so many tractor trailers in New York City that I had to do it, but I didn't like having to go into Brooklyn and the Bronx and Queens with a tractor trailer where there's a low bridge around every other turn.
Wow.
And the worst part is, if you ever go to New York City, don't go across the GW Bridge, because you have like 5 lanes coming into it because you have 5 lanes coming into the toll booth. But when you come out the other side, there's 2. I avoid the GW Bridge at all costs. I'll drive an extra 50 miles out of the way to avoid that bridge. That's one bridge I don't like in New York City.
I had a chance back in 1980 when my son-in-law, we were going, I mentioned this before probably in a live, we were going to Louisiana. I mentioned Echoes live here the other week. We were going through Louisiana. I drove that tractor trailer that night for an hour or two, and he quit. We come back to Georgia and dropped because he did not want to go up to north, New Jersey or New York. I can't remember which state, because he said he wasn't going to get up there and run off the road with ice and snow. And I wanted to go because I'm not scared of nothing. I said, let's go. I want to do it. I'll pick this up really quick, driving this truck. And I did drive his truck in the middle of the night. Went to a truck stop, turned the truck around. He says, wow, you did pretty good. I said, thanks. I said, I pick up things easy. I said, I always wanted to be a truck driver initially years ago.
Yeah.
And my brother wound up getting into it, and he actually learned to drive a tractor trailer. But he basically learned that on the job. The school he went to, he said, they don't give you much time behind the wheel. Mostly it's in the desk, books and stuff. Yeah. But I always wanted to drive one when I was young.
Now, Tennessee, I have been all over Washington, D.C. And the only problem, or the thing I should say that I did not like, is my GPS would not pick up the street where I needed to be. So I ended up down by Pennsylvania Avenue.
Uh-oh.
And there was probably 100 Secret Service people everywhere.
Bet they are.
So let me tell you, I got turned around really, really quick. Because I was down there where the barricade is on Pennsylvania Avenue. And trucks are not supposed to be down there. I mean, we have to go out that way, but where I was at that section, we're not supposed to be. But my GPS was not picking up the address. So I had to call the place. I'm like, look, I'm down here at, Pennsylvania Avenue where the barricade is. He's like, what in the hell are you doing there? I said, my GPS is not picking up your address. I said, so you need to tell me how to get from here to where you are. I said, because there's like 100 Secret Service people in this parking lot. And I said, I'm surely not going in there to get turned around, because it was a huge place. And so he got me turned around, and The weird part was it's this like weird section of the road where it's like 3 roads and 1 road, and it's only like a slight split off. So my GPS was
Mm-hmm.
telling me to go left when I should have gone right because of the way that they split right there. And I said, well, my GPS is I don't know what.
Yeah, we know what Secret Service carries in their coats. Fully automatic weapons. It's funny, they think they can have them, but we can't. You know, it's weird. But
Exactly, Blaze, exactly. And the only other problem with like big cities is people have gotten killed because people think that it's cool to be up on an overpass throwing off pumpkins and
geez,
bowling balls.
I've heard of
And
that.
Blaze, no, I broke my back in 2014, so I can't drive
Mm.
anymore, unfortunately, or I'd still be doing it. Yeah,
And
I know.
my brother, I told you, fell off a tractor and damaged his shoulder.
Yeah,
And he had 2 surgeries. Now he's retired at 63, I think. He ain't fully retired yet because they got to do a settlement. And but he's going to put it this way: it's going to be he's still going to be set, but he thinks he's going to recover maybe half of his use of his arm, and hopefully he will. So
yeah,
I
they
told him,
did.
I told him, I said, hey, at least you didn't do it when you was 30 or 40. I mean, he was like 5 years away from retirement, I think, when it initially happened.
Well, see, the big thing with CDL schools is
Mm-hmm.
they tell you all this stuff to get you to spend $5,000 to go through the training because that's how much it costs to go through a school.
Mm-hmm.
I did that in Manans, New York,
Mm-hmm.
and they're like, "Oh yeah, you can get a job anywhere once you go through school." You know, um, all this other stuff. Well, that's a crock.
Mm-hmm.
Because nobody will hire you without at least 6 months experience. Hi, A1 Fishing
Yeah.
Family. How's it going?
My brother got lucky, Tasha. He started doing local and then went for a small company, and they put him behind the tractor trailer, and that's how he got his experience.
They won't do that here because
Wow.
they used to take
Mm-hmm.
people right out of CDL school. But
Mm-hmm. He started driving those old box trucks, you know what I mean, for like a year, several years. Then he went from the box to another company, and it was a box. And all of a sudden, they started buying tractors and
there's a
trailers.
rich link or the link rich.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they don't teach you what you need to know. Oh,
That's what I've heard. Mm-hmm. Oh, look! Wow! Look at that
dinner.
catfish.
Catfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hold on, let me get the light off in there. There you go.
How much you think it weighs?
Oh, he's probably about 2.5 pounds, maybe. He's not
Mm-hmm.
nothing crazy, but it's pretty big size for a yellow belly.
Yeah, I was
Mm-hmm.
gonna say
Pretty
it
big.
almost looks
They're
like a
usually
freaking
smaller.
brown bullhead.
Say
Yeah.
hi, baby.
Hi.
She won't touch it. I have to take it.
I hate these ones.
Well, catfish is my special. I can cut them up, skin them, all kind. I can take them, hammer them to a tree or a board, and take pliers and take the skin off.
Good job, Judy. Judy, May, I haven't talked to Steve since the other night, and I don't know the other name you're asking me where they've been.
Hmm. Yeah, my brother was actually lucky, Tasha. I mean, like I said, he started driving box trucks, and then he got with a company in Norcross, and all of a sudden they bought the tractor trailer, and they let him do it, and he caught on, backed up, and he's pretty good at it now. Of course, I think he worked for him 17,
Yeah.
18, 19 years, and
He's like, bye, peace out.
Stolen my hooker.
He stole
He's
your hook.
leaving.
That's why the other reason I don't like it.
2 pounds, she says.
I was off the
Well,
sleep.
they're actually yellow belly, like bullheads or something like that. They're not. They're catfish, but they're not commonly really big. They're roughly around
No,
like they're kind of like the mud poats. They usually sit around a pound or half a pound. They don't commonly get that big around here.
Hmm.
The
yeah, that
biggest
looks
one we've
like
seen so far is like 3 pounds.
Yeah, I have my PB on the.
Well, up here in Georgia, they've caught some big cats here in the state sometimes. Huge.
3-pounder.
Is Judy sitting in between the rocks, Rich?
Yeah.
I
Look,
see them. Mm-hmm.
that's it. I don't have rod holders. I've never been
Yeah.
blessed with one yet, but I have a custom Ronnie Moore Uncle Lou rod in Canada. The Ronnie Lou rod, yeah, the Ronnie Lou rod was gifted from Ronnie Moore.
Mm-hmm.
Probably the only one that'll ever be in Canada, I bet.
Do you fish with a float or do you fish on bottom?
We're fishing on bottom, yeah.
That's what I always
Bottom
did.
bouncing. I put floaters in egg sacks and use those, or she uses worms and I blow the worms up and they float.
Mm-hmm.
But she's just been using them on the bottom. They're
Gotcha.
jumping here. We're hearing them jump. You can hear them just coming down in midair, but they're just not quite close enough for us yet. Maybe a couple days, maybe still, and then they'll be in here.
Yeah, I think that was a bullhead, Rich.
Yeah,
brown
yellow belly bullhead, or
yeah, they're called brown
like,
bullhead.
they don't get nothing like flatheads or blues or anything like
No,
that.
no. I mean, they're still in the catfish family, but bullhead don't get very big at all.
No. The biggest one, I think Judy caught it in the Whippy Harbor during a live. Was I think it was 3.5 pounds. That's the biggest one, but
There's that one though at the marsh too. When Mikey was there, that I caught that was really cool.
Anyways, we'll keep fishing here. We'll be fishing for another hour or so. If we catch anything better than that, then we'll come up.
Oh, anything you catch, pop back up.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Seeing that
We'll
fish.
go
Cool.
fishing.
All right, sounds good. It's just easier that way because you can't. I have to hold the phone and it's hard to hear you. So I just follow you and chat.
All right, sounds good.
All right, thanks, sweetheart. Bye.
Yeah.
I used to catch some big. I caught, I think 1978 or 79. I caught a cat. I was using night crawlers in a private lake behind somebody's house here in Georgia. I couldn't catch nothing. I found a piece of fried chicken in the grass, and I put that piece of fried chicken on the hook. I caught a catfish almost as long as my arm. And
wow.
I skinned it, cooked it, and we had, I think 4 of us ate it and still had some left over. And basically we just threw it away. But it was pretty good cooked. Biggest fish I ever caught in my life in a private lake.
Yeah, bullheads don't get big here.
Yeah, I was hearing what he was saying. I'm used to big cats, somewhat in Georgia.
See, bullhead are in the catfish family.
Right.
They're just, I call them mini catfish because they do not get even remotely close to the size of a catfish. Now here we have brown bullheads or black bullhead, whatever you want to call them.
Right.
And they normally have that yellowish belly to where, catfish bellies normally are like more like a white color.
Yeah, I've never seen the yellow version that he's got.
Yeah, that was a bullhead though. That's why. See, I'm not that far from Lake Ontario. Now we can go to this place called Black River, which empties into Lake Ontario. And that's like one of the only places here that we can go that's not super far away that we can go fishing for catfish.
Blue cats. I think we called them sometimes channel cats at Lake Lanier, but their bottom was white like you're talking about. I remember. You could see them around the banks and on the coves. You see them sitting there.
Yeah, well,
You know
Brutal
what?
Bob went noodling. You know what noodling is, right?
Yeah, I've heard of that. Yeah.
Where they go feel under the bank and stuff, and then
Mm-hmm.
they feel in and stuff their arm in its mouth and drag it out by its face, basically. And I
Mm-hmm.
seen guys' arms just tore up and bleeding.
Yeah, I've seen that. There's a girl on YouTube that does that too down there in Alabama. You probably know who I'm talking about, guys.
Well,
Yeah.
there's a lot of them that I've watched on there and on TV. I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, I would not be noodling when I know that the snapping turtles that live in the water are
Ooh,
bigger than them catfish, and they will bite your arm off.
jeez. There's a girl on YouTube. She noodles big cats, and she shows scratches on her arm. My friend mentioned that one time in the late
Mm-hmm.
70s. Was up at Lake Lanier, and I said he mentioned something about there's people I know people that go in there in the water and they pull catfish out with in their mouth and stick their arm in there. And I said, "You're crazy. I ain't doing that." I thought I didn't realize. I thought it was just kind of local. The people there doing it. I didn't know it was so widespread
Yeah, it is.
at the time. But yeah, I
They
know that
don't.
now. But this was like 1970 something. I was still young at that point.
Their mouth feels more like a super coarse sandpaper in their
Mm-hmm.
mouth, but them big ones can bite down pretty hard.
I bet.
So
If I was hungry, I would noodle, but that's the only way. I'll catch
I
on
wouldn't,
hooks.
because the only reason I wouldn't is because snapping turtles. Now snapping
Yeah.
turtles make good dinner too, but
Mm-hmm.
I'm surely not gonna stick my hand anywhere that possibly a huge snapping turtle could be, because you're gonna lose a hand, a couple digits, whatever
Mm-hmm.
they decide to grab onto.
Yeah, I was
And I've
always cautious of
taken
turtles when I
snakes
was a
like
kid.
this big, because we'll
Mm.
get snapping turtles like probably like this big walking on the
Wow.
road. And I've
Wow.
taken a stick like this thick to get them to snap on it to drag them out of the road.
Mm-hmm.
And they break them sticks right in half.
Jeez. Wow. Probably the biggest I've seen is probably 12 inches around here locally. I ran into one a couple of years ago over here. It was walking up the road. I took it and stuck it in a little creek in this neighborhood. Guess what? The next day, it comes walking down the friggin' road here. It's about 12 inches around. Not that big, but still. I look out the front door and there it is, walking down the street. Same turtle. It's on
Yeah.
a prowl or something.
Yeah, we get some big ones on and off throughout the summer, especially.
Mm-hmm.
Because there's a bunch of ponds and, like little swamplands and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it always
Allig-
puzzles me, like, how long does it actually take for them to get where they need to be?
mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't want to be bit by a turtle. Now, I've killed snakes quite a bit. I killed one back during COVID. Thing was about 6 foot long out here in the road. My roommate, he's in his 40s. I got a shovel, went out there, and I played with a snake a while. He said, "You're crazy. That thing is poisonous." I said, "I don't care." I'm sitting there taking that shovel and guiding him around all over. Pretty soon I got that shovel and just took his head off. My
Yeah,
roommate looked at me like, "What are you doing?" He said, "That thing is
them,
deadly." I said, "Nah."
them alligator snapping turtles are no joke either.
That's why I've heard that. Yeah. I've never been bitten by one, but I've heard about it. Boy, I don't want to get bit by one.
I've ate them. Like, we have a
Hmm.
snapping turtle season here.
I've never ate turtle. I've ate crawfish uh, from Lake Lanier, actually spiced. A roommate bought a bag of them one day, back around, I think, 1990 from Lake Lanier. And it had kind of like Louisiana hot sauce on it, flavor.
A lot of
Crayfish,
people,
crawfish, what people say it
yep,
different ways.
a lot of people make turtle soup.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I've had turtle.
Blaze says you had a 10-pound snapper. Wow.
I don't like beaver blaze. No. I've tried it numerous times. I will not eat it. Now, if I was starving, maybe for a couple weeks, and that's all I had to eat, but I'd have to be starving to eat it.
Mm-hmm. I like rivers. I used to play in a Chattahoochee, swim in it. Cold as crap, but boy, I liked it when I was young. Freeze you to death.
I don't agree with you, Brutal Bob.
Beaver is good eating.
Maybe if your missus cooked it, maybe then it changed my taste buds, but I've had it cooked many different ways, and
Mm-hmm.
there's people that eat so many different things. Like I was looking in this it's basically like a wild game cookbook, and the recipes that are in there just puzzled me, like skunk.
Wow.
There's like all different kinds of recipes for skunk.
I
I'm
want to
like,
eat
how
that.
the heck do you get past the smell? And then
Yeah.
if you don't know what you're doing cleaning it, because I trapped them, because we would use that for now, Rich.
Some of these Georgia roads down here, you can smell skunk occasionally out on the farmlands and areas.
But for skunk and raccoon and possum and like basically anything that scurries, there's a recipe for it.
I've captured one possum 2 times. Took him by the tail a few weeks ago, snatched him out of the cage, threw him at my daughter. She goes running down the driveway, scared to death. And I just said, it's not going to hurt you. And I just took that tail and flung it across the grass there. And I caught one day. I had some chicken bone in a cage. And the next day that possum was dead. The only thing I can figure, that possum ate that chicken bone that got hung in his insides and it killed him. And so I took that one out, but it's weird catching possum. I don't like possum. I hear they're greasy.
They stink, but possums are good to have around because they eat ticks.
I didn't know that.
And everybody thinks that they're, this bad thing to have around. Granted, they may get into this and get into that, but
I let him go. I didn't kill him. I caught him twice. I think more of kind of a medium size. He wasn't grown. This possum was. It's weird. I caught the same one twice.
Some of them game book cooking, I'm sorry, but
Laughing my off, Tasha. I thought you were talking about beaver on the back of coins. Okay.
but I try not to kill them. I mean, they are like a scary looking critter, but I've seen videos where people have them as pets.
Oh, geez.
And they're super smart, believe it or not. The same as like rats.
Wow.
You can train rats the same as you do, dogs and and they're very smart.
This is YouTube, but I seen on YouTube a while back where a family raised a wild hog with their dogs, and that hog slept with those dogs and played with them. I thought, that's wild. And I thought it was like a pet. The wild hog did. It's weird how that can happen. It was on YouTube. I watched this. What a trip. Hog thinking he's a dog.
I don't remember, Chris. I don't remember.
We see them on the road a lot here.
Ducks are also good for ticks. I'm just not a free-range bird type person.
Who promoted the possums kills ticks thing?
Oh, I've never had a possum come after me or anything. They just stink.
I almost killed a possum here because I forgot he was in the cage and he had no water and he was slow. I let him out of the cage and he wouldn't move. I went and got him a bowl of water, actually, believe it or not, and I put the bowl down there. Finally, I just stuck the bowl. He kept walking and got under a camper shell I got out there. I just took the bowl, water, and stuck it in there. Next day, he finally got enough energy, and he drank water and left. But he did drink the water, the possum did. Now, I've never did that. Usually, I don't give a crap, but I thought, how about kill the poor guy? At least I can do is give him some water, you know.
Hey, Matt, how's it going? I'm doing all right.
And I've never done that. Typically, I won't feed a water or anything like that animal. But I don't like possums at all. They're snarly. Boy, they open that mouth all the time and look at you. PETA, yeah, that's a crazy organization.
What Bob said,
Jeez.
right? He hand feeds a possum almost every night.
Wow. I used to work as a supervisor in a food processing plant, and we had a back door, and we used to throw dumpling dough that we made in a plant to raccoons every night. The whole raccoon family would be down there on the ground. We sit there and throw them a dough, and they would eat it. Basically baked dough for dumplings, chicken and dumplings. And the whole family would be there, like 8 or 10 raccoons trip. How you doing, laced up? Matt, right? Tasha?
Yes.
Okay.
Matt.
How you doing, Matt? M-A-T? T or M-A-T?
Yeah, M-A-T-T.
Gotcha. Yeah, I drop in his occasionally and say hello up there.
Yeah, he doesn't live that far from me. About an hour.
Yeah, that's right. He does live up. Yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got to go to next month. We're supposed to go to Graceland. I hope we go. I hope my daughter don't try to put it off again. I want to get up there. Time before last, I put the trip off. You pay, basically when you get a ticket for Graceland, you can't get a refund. You got to postpone it or redo it another time. They won't give refunds on it.
Now, how far is that from you?
I'm not even sure, really. I haven't been there since 79. I went after his death when it was a real house, not a museum. I actually met Vester Presley and talked to him at the gate. I think I mentioned that, though, the last time I talked to you. And he was a cool guy. Like his family don't like what's happened to that place. His cousins that was with him when he died, Billy, yeah, he's talked about it. He has a YouTube channel. And you got another channel called Memphis Mafia Kid. He grew up at Graceland as a kid. He talks about stories at Graceland. He said it was like like Six Flags when you were there as a kid. Anything you wanted, you got. Sorry about that if you all hear this. Can you hear them when they went off, these notifications?
Yeah, it's not loud. But you're fine.
Okay. Yeah, my compressor is probably kicking it down some. I can turn it up higher and actually probably kill it, but it can get kind of weird sounding if I do.
Well, our turkey numbers are coming up here. I've seen a couple mamas with a bunch of babies.
I've never went hunting for turkey. I've been deer hunting. Never did that.
I mean, just recently, been seeing a lot of wild turkeys with their babies, and they normally are right out here in the woods, not that far from where my house sits.
Wow.
They're so cute, but when they're like in between that like fluffy feather stage and where they get their feathers, they look so ragged. And we have a ton of turkey vultures. Them are some ugly looking birds.
I didn't even know possum actually eat turkey eggs. That's true. I love shotguns, but just never been turkey hunting. Shotgun was my favorite rifle gun when I was young. That and a .22.
Use the same thing to go turkey hunting. Use shotgun. shotgun with turkey load.
Mm-hmm. I used to love 12 gauge shotguns. I had a pump here a few years ago and I sold it. A Super Magnum, Remington. Back before Remington kind of got crappy with their quality control, that is.
Hang on a second. I just got a strange email.
Okay.
I'll be right back.
How you guys doing and gals doing tonight? What's up out there? She's got me on spot. I come in a stream and I got to sit here and talk. Hope y'all doing good. I hope to get around to each and every one of you's channel, say hello and watch your live streams and watch some of your videos. I was thinking today it would be easier if I put more shorts up because it's easier to go to a channel and watch a short because you don't have to sit there so long, but you kind of go through all the videos really quick. I may do some shorts here in the next few weeks regarding firearms and reloading, stuff like that. Brittle Bob says there are lots of animals that eat turkey eggs. Yeah. Property. I definitely got, what is it I got here? I'm trying to think. I can't think of the name of them now. Armadillos. They tear my yard up at night. We got deer here come in my backyard, rabbits, tons of wildlife here, even though I'm in a neighborhood. Wild pigs, wild hogs, I should say. I photographed a baby pig here about a few months ago. I was walking around the neighborhood and it was over in somebody's yard running around. I'd like to do some coyote shooting. Go shoot some coyotes. That'd be fun. I'd like to shoot wild hogs, especially I have a helicopter. But I'd like to shoot them, period, with some night vision at night. That would be fun. And you know what you got to have when you shoot hogs at night or during the day? What kind of rifle you have to have is best. The old reliable AR, sporting rifle. America's gun, as they say. It is not an assault weapon. I hate people calling it that. It's ridiculous. I can actually, believe it or not, you can actually show guns and parts on YouTube in a live stream and they can't do anything about it. But if you touch that thing, boom, your channel's gone, your stream's gone quick.
I'm still here. I just responded to a message.
There is Janet Homestead. Where you are. I haven't seen her. I don't think I'm subbed to her. Hopefully Shane will get that straightened out in a few days. He'll have his internet back. I bet he's having withdrawals, not being able to stream. Are you going to, if he can't stream, are you streaming tomorrow? Or do you stream on Saturday? Does Shane? Yeah.
It depends on how I feel in the morning. If his internet's not up and I feel okay in the morning, then yeah, I'll do the morning live.
Okay. I didn't know if you did it Saturday or Sunday, actually. Apparently he does. So he streams 7 days a week then, right? Every morning. Oh, wow. That's a lot of streaming.
He does every morning, 7 days a week from 9:30 to 11:30, and I do it every night from 9:30 to whenever.
I've streamed 2 hours. I've streamed 2 hours at a time, 3 or 4 times a week, and boy, it wear you out. AR, one of my, is it? Okay. I don't like that word though, assault rifle. I don't use that word. It has a giggle switch. You just talking about earlier about those. The only way I can get an automatic down here in Georgia in the South is pay, what, $30,000 for an M16? And then I have to register it to the ATF. I don't remember the fee, 200 to 300. Can't even remember now. But I do have a guy I know that's used to have one. And of course, who else got them? Ted Nugent, he shoots them a lot.
Zombie!
Hey, zombie prepper. I seen some of his lives, him sitting in it with a hat. I've never shot a full auto M16 on it. Oh, they're going around now, guys, taking triggers. They're classified a reset trigger as a goddamn automatic, excuse my language, as an automatic weapon. So ATF's going knocking on your door, taking the triggers, tell you either smash it, video it, lawyers are, or hand it over to the ATF. Ridiculous. But they're doing it. Same thing they did with the bump stocks a while back. ATF is writing a law is what they're doing. I know they're listening to me. But that's what they're doing out there. I've been seeing even on YouTube. I actually listened to a lawyer today. He says what to do when they come. Believe it or not, if the ATF, I'll say that if ATF comes to your house, you do not have to answer the door if they don't have a warrant. If they're following up on anything that they think you bought 2 or more weapons, you do not have to do anything unless they show you that warrant. You don't have to open the door, nothing. Now, I know Bob says that you'll go in a list. You know, true, maybe so. Here in Georgia, I don't have to worry about that list. I got a permit for 5 years. So they don't call the NIC system when I buy one. We don't have that
I'm
here.
doing okay, Wayne. How are you doing?
Howdy, Wayne. How you doing, man?
Zombie,
Appreciate
if
those
you
backgrounds.
drop the link again. Gotta have you put my new stickers on my board. Don't let me forget I gotta get 2 roofing nails to nail it to the frickin' wall. I had my sticker board pinned up with tacks behind me, and the youngest cat, I used to call her a kitten, she's over a year old, but she knocked it down. So I'm
Yeah, I
gonna
remember that.
nail it to the wall with some roofing nails.
Mm-hmm. I want to get a board. I never really thought about it. I've been seeing it, not only you, other people I know. And actually, I got a bunch of swag. I actually won 2 contests in the firearms community. Got a bunch of swag stickers up there in the cabinet, and I won a 6-inch round piece of AR-15 steel in a quiz on a live stream. That's 2 things I've won. I wished I could win the lottery, but I'm saying I will not be staying up too late, Tasha.
I was gonna say, Wayne, it's already almost midnight our time, so you kind of
It
are
sure is.
late. But I got mine at Walmart.
Mm-hmm.
Now Walmart, they have the trifold ones too, or bifold. They open up.
Okay.
But I
What
just
did you?
got the single one.
Is yours cork? What kind of material is it?
Is that like a foam board? Yeah, it's foam.
Foam? Okay. I may get one. I've got a whiteboard here. I got a huge whiteboard over here. You wouldn't believe it,
Yeah,
how
you
big
can
it is.
put them up there too. Wayne,
Okay.
is your clock off? Because mine says 11:54.
Mine does too, Tasha. It's no 11:30. Wake up.
I think your watch is a little off, Wayne.
Quite a bit. Judy May, she's back with us. Yeah, it's getting late.
Yeah, we're gonna do 3 hours.
You gonna do 3?
Yeah, we're at 2 hours, 23 minutes. I'm not in the mood to do 4 or 5 or 12 or 20 or.
Oh, I can't hang. I can't hang that long. My back will kill me.
When Shane and I did the 24-hour live, we had such a blast. There's like people calling people out, and then you had to follow guidelines. I'm like, you know what? We're doing a 24-hour live, and we're gonna do it our way.
Wow. I can see where it'd be cool because you'd probably see a lot of different people, wouldn't you, over that time span?
Yes,
Yeah.
you do.
Mm-hmm.
Well, happy birthday to your sister, Brenda. I hope that you guys have a great weekend.
If I did a 24, I'd be in and out, on camera for a little bit, out, take a break, come back, jump back in. I don't know if I just sit like this.
Well, the whole thing is for whoever, like with me, whoever is hosting it.
Mm-hmm.
If you're to me, if you're gonna do a 24-hour, then you need to stay awake for them 24 hours.
Yeah.
And now people come in and out. So like Shane and I did was a celebration of him reaching the 500 milestone.
Mm-hmm.
So then we did giveaways and
Wow.
we hosted it on my StreamYard. But what was cool is with having him as admin,
Mm-hmm.
he could go over and start the next part, and then I could
Mm-hmm.
hang out in the first part, and then wait till everybody went over there. I'd stay like 5-10 minutes past the 11-hour mark, and then
Mm-hmm.
go over there, and then he's already there. So then it was just nice to go back and forth. And we started on his morning show, and then we ended on his morning show. But it was all done through my StreamYard because I know how to do the giveaway tool and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I know what you're talking about that. I'm an admin to I was a co-host initially when that first came out, and I'm an admin to Echo, and he can get it. He's admin to my channel. He can actually start a stream on my channel right now, but he don't do it without my permission, and I don't bother his channel without his permission. But I'm an admin on his. Occasionally, I'll switch back to co-host, and then he'll switch me to co-host, and it varies. But everything's been cool. I've had no problem. We've been having it that way probably for 6 months, maybe longer.
Yeah, well, we're throwing Shane off when he would want to do his stream afterwards because like both our stuff is in the StreamYard.
Right. Oh, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
They took him off admin because it was just like throwing him off and everything. So
yeah, what I told Echo to do is go up in the left corner where the duck's at. There's a little thing you click on. It'll drop down and it'll say like AR channel, and you can name it like Echo channel, Great Farmer channel. And Echo's got lost on that. I go up to the duck, look under there, and you'll see your name, right? Yeah. I said, look, just click on it, and you'll see my name. And he gets that's the way he navigates it. Click on the duck. So, yeah. I help him I've actually taught him how to use the software past year. He's 50 something, but never grew up with computers. Of course, I never grew up with computers either, but I did go to school, A+. And I started messing with computers probably in the 90s. And I've tore them down, formatted, put hard drives in, RAM, built with this one here. And I like them, messing with that stuff. I was a car mechanic too at one time. And I don't do much anymore. It's just too difficult. Last motor I rebuilt was 2005, actually.
Well,
and I rebuilt everything in that motor, even the pistons I put in it.
Yeah, my dad and my grandpa taught me a lot of stuff. Like I was 13 and I used to rebuild outboard motors with my grandfather. We'd take the motor apart, carburetor, put new points in them, redo the lower units, everything. And when Dad got into CBs, I had would sit there and help him with those too, and then got into the other aspect that we've talked about before. All right, Wayne. Good night.
Night, man. Who's this? Redbird Farm is with us. Good to see you. I'll say us because I'm on here with you. So.
Hey, Cottonwood Ranch, how you doing? Miss Raquel.
Oh, yeah, I watched the video today of her. Yeah, I seen her talking. I forget. Yeah, I remember that. Good evening, Raquel. She said she was named after I used to say it down here, Raquel Welch. We didn't say Raquel in the South. Boy, all of a sudden I'm streaming and staying up late. Look what you've done to me, Tasha. God, got me on these streams at midnight. Lord.
I'm doing okay, Raquel. I'm doing
I
right.
haven't streamed at midnight in probably 8 months or a year.
Well, don't worry. I'm not going to take you into the 4 hour mark. Only the 3.
Oh no, no.
Only another half hour.
I'll try to hang.
And then I'll have to go over and bug Tony because Kettle Kitchen just went live, so I have to go bug him.
Some nights I can't sleep. I think I'm gonna go to bed, and I started watching your channel, and then I'll start watching YouTube's. And I have when I first started streaming, I was staying up 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, just apparently getting the buzz off all these lights and stuff. I just stay up, and I said I'm acting like Elvis Presley. I'm staying up all night long. I got to quit that. And my roommate. I had a roommate here a while back, and he would sleep all day long, and stay up all night. Well, he'd come here to the door while I was streaming and bug me some occasion. I go, "What do you want?" I'd tell him. I said, "Don't bother me when I'm streaming." So I actually bought this stuff so everybody could not hear him originally. He's gone now, but
Yeah.
he would get in the kitchen and bang pans and cook. And try to cook at 12 or 1 o'clock in the morning. I told him, I said, well, this is not Elvis Presley's house. I said, cook at 8 o'clock at night and kill it by 9. So one night when he first moved here, I woke up about 3 in the morning, and my eyes were watering in the bed from onion and peppers. Man, I come in there and I said, "What are you cooking?" He was cooking some kind of Cajun stuff. Wow. I said, "You're burning my eyes out, man. Don't be in here cooking at midnight, Jeez."
Yeah.
He finally quit because I live in a slab ranch style house. So anything that's cooked in the kitchen, it goes down the hall into my AC system, and it spreads.
We know it's funny you say that. If I decide to make a crock pot full of spaghetti sauce and I'll start it in the morning and let it cook all day long, I cannot sleep. The smell of the sauce, it doesn't matter if I go in a room and shut the door or whatever, the smell just comes everywhere and it'll make my stomach growl so loud that I cannot sleep.
Wow. Yeah, he was doing onion, white onion, I think it was, and also real garlic. Woo, it was killing me. And I love garlic. I cook with it too.
I love garlic.
But I don't cook at midnight.
I do sometimes.
Do you? I'll make a sandwich. I'm lazy. I'm a bachelor. What do you expect? I don't cook that time of night. I'll make a peanut butter sandwich, maybe. And a glass of tea.
I try not to eat late, but
Me too.
normally when I get done with the live, I'm starving for some reason, and then I got to find something to eat, whether it be noodles or sunflower butter sandwich, or because I can't do peanut butter.
I sit sometimes in streams and eat yogurt occasionally, and cheese, cheddar cheese, snack on it. I typically throw the avatar up for a few minutes.
Well, Brew the Wild, you can eat porcupines too,
Oh wow! I still have that.
Yeah, and that Wild Game cookbook, like I said, there's recipes for pretty much everything that scurries. Porcupines, I would just like to have some clues.
I've seen guys in these streams in the side chat talk about eating almost everything from every part of the country you can think of around here. Things I wouldn't eat, but I probably would if I was hungry. I used to have a saying even at work when I was a supervisor of this plant, and everybody in the plant said they would eat what they call mountain oysters. I don't know if you all know what that is. And I said, hey, no way in crap, I'm eating mountain oysters.
Yes.
Do I?
Rocky Mountain oysters. I know what they are. And they say they're good eating.
I told him, I said, I'll starve to death. I said, I'll eat, a pig or a hog. But I said, I'm not going to eat everything on that thing. Like I won't eat tongues and ears or feet in a pig in a grocery store. But
I never even knew that porcupines could climb trees until I watched Survivor Man.
I didn't know either.
Hiya, Doc. How's it going?
I seen him now. He's with Laced.
Yep.
Matt. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. How's it going, Dr. Mercenary? Yeah.
Yep. Doc Mercenary. Yep.
Yeah. Good to see you, man.
As Shane says, and a lot of people say, the best hair on YouTube.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and head of
Yeah.
hair, almost like Elvis Presley back in the day in the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Had that big head of hair. Used to have that, what they call it, bouffant or you know, remember in the 50s how high his hair was, which is strange for a guy. Most guys didn't do that at the time. He was a trendsetter if you look back on it. What he
The
dressed
old
and did.
beehive hairdos for the women that was all beehived up.
I remember that.
But like I said, you can eat porcupines.
I wondered. I've never had one. But I just cut my hair, he said.
You did not just cut your hair.
I just had a haircut a couple weeks back.
You better get your butt up here on panels and let me see what you did to your hair, Doc.
Yeah, jump up here, man.
Because he was going back and forth about cutting his hair and saying, all this stuff. And Shane, he's like, you better not be cutting your hair off.
I have had long hair since probably the 90s, probably 97. It was probably down on my back, in the backside back here. Long. That's been a long time.
Yeah, I don't keep my hair long anymore.
I don't either. I keep
it. It gives me migraines.
I hate it now in the summer when mine gets long. Yeah, Elvis Presley was a cool guy in his day. He set a lot of trends, kind of like the Beatles did. Which is those two groups, man, really a lot of change they brought about. Oh, Brutal Bob says I eat Rocky Mountain oysters. Not me.
Hey, Kelly, how are you doing? Brutal Bob, I would try them. Like I told you before, I'm not going to say I don't like, a type of food unless I try it. Now, don't bring me cheese that has maggots in it or anything like that, because that I'm not doing.
Now, back in the day when I used to go to the gym, Tasha and you all, I used to take vitamins and nutrients, and it actually had raw orchic. Anybody knows what that is? That's bull balls. Excuse my language. And I would take those now, but it was vitamin form. I used to take that quite a bit in the 90s and work out, which is weird. People ask me, what is that chemical? I said, that's raw orchic.
Yeah.
Been a long time since I even thought of that. I don't know why I'm talking about it, but I took a lot of nutrients back then. Used to take a B12 thing. One time I went to a vitamin house here in Georgia in the 90s, or was it? Actually 80s. And I bought a bunch of silver things from Germany. I took them to my doctor and he said, do you know what you're taking? I says, yeah, I think so. He says, you're taking pure testosterone tablets. Well, I was eating raw oysters, taking those testosterone tablets and working out constantly. And I finally, the FDA come in and barred the vitamin stores from selling any more testosterone from Europe, actually. I think it was from Germany originally. And I just walked in there one day and I said, what do you got to build you up, build muscle on that? You got any kind of steroids? No, we don't sell that, but I got something right here. And I said, okay. And I read on it, it says testosterone. I was probably 30 years old when I seen that. And I took a lot of nutrients back then, though. B12, amino acids.
Yeah.
Yeah. Protein drinks, things like that. And no, I didn't need, and no, I did not need the pills.
Testosterone to build muscle, because if I started lifting weights again, I build muscle super easy, but I have a little bit higher testosterone level than most women do, so that's probably why.
I still do a little dumbbell work here, but not a lot. I do a lot of stretching. So I do exercise even though I'm retired. And I can still, I can kick high, so I'm pretty flexible. Even though I got an injury, I can still do it. I had a roommate here years ago. He said, "How do you do all the stuff you do?" I said, "I just do." My L5, you mentioned that on you. I don't even have an L5 there. It looks like it's just a flat piece of paper. And but as long as I exercise and swim, I do okay. I don't have really on that part. What gets me is my main injury in my mid back, T10 and 9. That is a bad place. It bothers me sometimes. Now, that don't bother me if I work out and swim a lot. I can handle it. I do pretty
Yeah, I
good.
love to be in the pool. If I could be in the pool all year round, that's where I'd be.
I'm joining Gwinnett County Government Systems pool here in a few weeks, and I'll be going swimming all through the winter in the pool. Big old indoor pool here. I hadn't did it in several years because of COVID. I've actually dropped out, but I used to swim summer and winter.
Well, we have a YMCA here, but
Wow.
I haven't checked into it because being that I'm on Medicare due to disability, I'm wondering if I can go there for free.
Right. Actually, believe it or not, you mentioned that. We got one coming down the street down here on the corner, not far from my neighborhood. My daughter said something about that. I said, yeah, I seen that sign. Problem is, last time I went to them, they wanted like $40, $50 a month. And I said, I ain't paying that.
Last time I checked, because I had my own business, it was like $600 a year.
Wow. Yeah, the pool I go to, I can get a 10 seasonal pass through the whole entire winter to all the way to Memorial Day weekend for out of county though, because I don't live in Gwinnett County, for like 170. Used to be like $199, 125. Then it went up, and that's about 100, probably about 175 or 80 for 10 months. And all I got to do is drive down there, which is probably about a 40-minute drive. But I enjoy swimming indoors in a winter pool. It's a big one too, 12-foot deep, and there's not a lot of people there. Pardon?
Figure out how to heat our above ground pool so I can swim in a snowstorm.
I wish I had a pool here, Tasha. My daughter's talked about coming here and putting a pool out back. I told her I'll pitch in. I want one at least close to 5 foot deep near it, 50 something inch. And I told her we can dig down a little bit and put a 16, 18 wide, 33 foot pool. That's what I'd like to have.
Strong, how's it going?
That'd be nice. I love swimming. I'm a big swimmer.
So do I. It's one of my favorite things to do.
Me too. Yeah. Well, we got something in common there. I love the water. My aunt asked me when I think I was 10 years old. She said, "Where do you want to go, Six Flags or the beach?" I said, "Take me to the beach." I never even went to Six Flags probably till I was, I don't know, teenager. And that pool, I think I was 10 years old when I'd go to the beach. Back then, they played rock and roll at the beach in those days. So.
I grew up on the lake.
Didn't you?
And when I was a little kid, we'd go up and open camp up, like around April, I think. And we'd go down to the beach, and the ice would still be on, but it'd be off, like by shore and stuff. I'd go right out in the water. I didn't care. I love being in the water. Now, if it's cold, forget it. I ain't going in there.
I was running around back in the 1980s, Tasha, and you all. I think it was probably 83, 84. And Lake Lanier, I was telling you about up here in Georgia.
Yep.
Well, I was way away from home. So me and Miles rode up the lake, and we're talking probably April, March, and it's pretty cold, Lake Lanier is. I would go out there with some Prel shampoo, put my shorts on in the car, go out there and jump in the lake, shampoo my hair, and shave right there in the water. And he thought I was crazy. My friend says, "You're crazy as heck." And he said, out there, and I'd be sitting there shampooing my hair, and everybody looked at me. There was nobody in the water either, because it was a beach and it was closed. And he thought I was crazy doing that. But hey, I had to shampoo my hair and shave. I used to carry it around in a gym bag, actually, some shampoo and a razor.
Through the Bob, I can't float unless I float face down.
I can float. Well, I never floated face down. I floated on my back a lot.
Well,
tread water a lot.
Dead man's float, I can float that way.
But if I probably have
and try to float. I can't float. I sink.
I'm teaching my great grandson to float. I was this summer. One time we went to a pool. I'm taking him deer hunting actually. Hopefully here soon. He's 9 years old now. Okay, he's growing up. I want to get him off the phones and electronics and get him out there around the campfire.
Yep.
He loves it so far. If I mention camping, I'm going to think about getting a hot tent where we have a little heat, wood burning stove in it.
Yep.
That way, if it's cold, we can still have a fire outside the tent, but we can also warm the tent inside. I showed him the pictures of it, and he's excited. So hopefully we'll get to go. I've been promising him probably we went camping one time, deer camp. In the past two years, I've been promising, and I've let him down. Haven't been able to make it. So I got to take him. But those tents, hot tents, the cheapest I found them, usually $600 to $1,000. I have found one the other day, $280 on sale. Actually, I should have buy it. It's called luxtents.com or something, LUX.
Yeah.
I need to look again. It's like a teepee, but it's got a hot tent hole in it where you can run the chimney thing in it, the pipes for the stove.
Yeah.
So I thought that would be cool.
An old Girl Scout tent
Mm-hmm.
that had the hole for the chimney for the stove in.
Mm-hmm. My first tent when I was a kid was an old Army. Remember the old Army tents decades ago? They were green. They had no floor.
Yep.
That was my first tent. My mother bought for me, used when I was a kid.
That's how the Girl Scout tents are too.
Mm-hmm.
No floor.
Last time I seen a tent like that, Tasha, I was in the Boy Scouts, and we used them. And actually, believe it or not, we camped out near a lake where I actually spent 13 years in working at. They built a contact lens company and a bunch of warehouses on top of that.
Wow.
So I actually went swimming there, camping there in the Boy Scout. And then years later, I worked there in a plant for 13 years and worked in the clean rooms, which is labs.
The one he belonged to a sportsman's club.
Mm-hmm.
And I was 13, but they were doing kind of like a raffle, and he put my name in for the drawing to go to an environmental conservation summer camp,
Mm-hmm.
and they drew my name.
Oh, wow.
That was the funnest week and a half I ever had as a teenager. It was the one thing I do kick myself in the butt for not doing is I could have taken my trapper safety course. That's why Dad was happy that I was going, but I didn't. I chose to hike to Avalanche Lake, it's called, instead of going and taking the trapping course, especially considering I love to trap. I used to get hit all the time.
I didn't know you trapped.
So he yelled at me. That's why I was excited about you going there to get your certificate. And I mean, I could have done bow hunter and trapping, and I didn't. But that was like the best summer. Because we actually went camping on Saranac Lake, because Lake Colby is not that far from Saranac Lake. So we went up Camp Island camping on Saranac Lake. You have to have a boat to go there, because it's all island camping. So we were there for a week, and then coming back down, they dropped me off at camp, and I think they went camping somewhere else, and then came back, or went home and then came back and got me.
I got a guy here in Georgia. He's got a YouTube channel, and he traps. He don't have I think some kind of license he's talking about for dangerous game like snakes. But I'm gonna buy me some traps, and he traps beaver, coyote, all kinds of stuff. Buys bait for it.
Yeah. Well, Dad taught me how to hunt or trap. I'd run a strut line with him, or a trap line with him when I was like 10, 11. We'd go out, he'd put the old pack basket on, and we'd go out and do the trap line. And that pack would be so full of muskrats, muskrats and beaver.
Wow.
And we'd actually end up having to carry muskrats because back then they were like hot and heavy. Like every trap, we'd have a muskrat in it. So the pack would be full.
Wow.
And we'd still have to carry some. But I'd go out with them predator hunting, like coyote hunting, go raccoon hunting. Yeah.
I love hunting. I love the woods. I grew up playing in the woods when I was a kid.
So did I.
My brother said a few years ago, I was over at his house, and he gets a ladder out, and he tells me to climb a tree. He said, you used to climb all the time real high. And I said, yeah, I don't do that much anymore. I actually did climb up the ladder and get up there fairly high and cut a limb off for him. A few months ago, he asked me, come over here and get on my tin roof and cut a limb off or something. I said, heck no, I'm not. He said, you always did climb high. I said, yeah, I was young then. And I'd climb a tree. Even in my 20s, I'd climb a tree near the top and mount an antenna around a tree, you know, like a CB radio antenna. I just stick it up there and put a band around it and nail it or something or clamp it and crawl back down.
I learned about pine trees.
That's what I would climb.
We're all out messing around in the pine trees. And we would, you know, climb like a skinny one. And we'd be up there making a thing swing and, you know, sway back and forth, and we'd all be in a tree.
Yeah.
Well, lo and behold, my branch broke, and I was probably, I don't know, probably like 12 foot in the air and right down to the ground. I'm like, yep, I'm not climbing the pine tree ever again.
I fell out of a tree when I was probably 11 or 12. I was climbing a tree, and it was flexed like you're talking about. And I dropped to the ground and landed on a dang sawed-off stump. Whoa.
Oh.
Man, it hurt. I used to camp out when I was 10, 11, 12, 13. We'd just go out in the woods. Me and a guy in school, elementary school, we'd just go out there and pitch a tent. And I remember listening to the Beatles on radio back then. I remember Lady Madonna that would be playing on the radio.
The Beatles, the Monkees.
Oh, yeah.
Beach Boys.
You know, it's weird how the Monkees turned out, isn't it? They originally did not do didn't play, remember? The Monkees. I actually seen them, Tasha and you all. I seen them in 1985. They were on like a tour in Atlanta. I think it was the Omni. We had like, Paul Revere and the Raiders, Gary, what was it? Can't remember his name now. Quite a few of them. The Monkees was there. I actually had a Monkees t-shirt. Now, Michael Nesmith did not tour that for that concert in 85, that time. But still a good show. Oh, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap. And who else have I seen? The Grassroots. You remember? I don't know if anybody heard of the Grassroots. Midnight Confessions.
It sounds familiar. I listen, even now. I don't know. I've been on this kick with old country lately. Normally I keep my Pandora on shuffle. So it plays like rock, pop, rap, country. But lately it's just older country that I've been listening to.
I love old country, Tasha. It's I listen to it.
Junior and Senior and Willie Nelson and George Strait and Merle Haggard and
Conway Twitty. I like his songs.
Yeah.
Conway Twitty could sing a love song, they say. Well, he was good at it. Did you know he stayed in rock for 10 years before he went country? I didn't know that. I didn't know it. Actually, I knew he was in rock, but I didn't know he spent 10 years in it. He's look on YouTube, you'll see him. He's on David Letterman in I think 1985 or 90. I can't remember now, probably 85. And he talks about this. He was 10 years in rock and roll. I didn't know his first song. What is it? I'm trying to think of the name of it now. Can't believe go live and you forget things. You know how it is. I'll think of it later. Sorry.
Yeah,
weird.
good.
Hate doing that. Not remembering. It's Only Make Believe. Yep. That was his first rock song. I knew it would come to me. And I didn't know it was a rock song because it still Conway Twitty, when I knew him, he was country. I didn't discover country probably until 1983. I was a rock and roll guy, Beatles, some Elvis. I wasn't real big on Elvis, but at the time, I watched his movies when I was a kid and had a few albums. And went to, when I was 15 years old, I went to the drive-in and seen Elvis, That's the Way It Is, and watched that. But mostly I learned more about Elvis after his death, actually.
I want to see the new Elvis movie that they have.
My daughter and son-in-law seen it. Yeah, recently. They say it's his family did a review on that, and they said when they came out of the theater, they were down. They said it was not a happy movie. They said they knew that Priscilla likes it naturally and Lisa, but Billy Smith and the family said it made you feel bad when you left there. And I said, interesting. Because it is kind of a, glamorous, kind of weird. That director is kind of strange, that kind of out there.
Most directors are.
Yeah, he made that movie. He captured some things of Elvis, but in other things, the story is not really accurate. Yeah. He never said, you want to fly? That was never true. And a few other things in there, I forget. I hadn't watched it yet, but I will. It's coming on, I was trying to think what, Roku, I seen it where it's coming soon on HBO app, on the Roku player. Roku, yeah. I seen that today, actually.
But yeah, my biological dad, he used to play guitar, and he would sing to Mom and I all the time when I was a kid. He played in church. He had a great voice, and I think that's what it drew me so close to Rich, to CFM, because the way his voice is, and like I see his hands on the guitar and stuff like that. It's so similar to the way my dad played and the way he held the guitar. So that just drew me to him, and I can't. He could put out 1,000 songs, and I still would not be able to get enough of his music. It hits me in the heart a lot. There's like a couple of songs that just tear at the heartstrings. But voice.
Yeah, I've watched him. I've seen him play that Simple Man that night or evening. Yeah, that was a good song. I had a roommate here years ago, and he was in his 60s, 59 when he first came here. But he liked to play guitar. He had a Alvarez acoustic electric. That guy could play every bass line, walking bass lines, you name it. I could sit there and go, sing Love Me Tender. He would actually find the root note on the string and actually start figuring out the chord progression. He wasn't good technically, kind of like John Lennon wasn't, but he knew exactly what chords went together, when he would play. Yep. He actually passed away and left me his guitar. I've got a real tube amp Fender 65 reissue, probably worth about $1,000. Real tube amp, 20 watt here. And I got his guitar hanging on my wall. I can actually, I know chords. I just hadn't totally developed my changing as fast as I would like. And I can actually watch you play guitar, and I know what most of the chords are, just watching your hands. Yeah. And one time, he tried to teach me Tasha ear, learning by ear, and he could do it. And I only picked one chord, and that was Pink Floyd, Time. When it starts out, bong, time, it's a good rock song. Yeah. I actually went to the F chord, and he told me I found it. And I looked it up, and sure enough, I found the chord. And I said, wow, that's the only chord I've ever found, though, or note, I should say. Yeah. That was my favorite song by Pink Floyd, Time. And another one, Shine On Crazy Diamond or something. I think that is the name of it. That's written for Syd Barrett when he was back in Pink Floyd in the early days.
My mom's boyfriend, George, he can play guitar and sing. He's wrote songs before.
Randy was not a good singer, really. He had kind of a bass voice, but he knew he couldn't sing, but boy, he could play. God, he could really play me. He'd sit most of the time at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning. He would sit and want to play sometime for an hour or 2 hours straight on the sofa. It was a trip. Sometimes when I had another roommate, that was working or something, sometimes he would get up and I said, no, we can't play the guitar this morning, especially with the amp. I bought the first tube amp when he was here, and he was thrilled to death. His dream was to have a big, probably a Gretsch $2,000 guitar back then. Back then, it's probably about $2,000, a little over $2,000.
They're not cheap.
No, I'd like to have a Gretsch. That's what I'm wanting. I actually owned a 2010. I owned a Japanese 1965 Elitist Casino made in Japan, handmade.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was $15.99 retail. I got it for Lucky at Guitar Center. I made friends with the assistant manager. He sold it to me on the internet in the store for $1,150 or $60 with tax. I got it dirt cheap and sold it like an idiot. And you know what that guitar sells for now? $2,000. And I only gave $11 for it. And
Wow.
it was the same guitar John Lennon uses. You've seen that? Yeah, that hollow body. Paul has the painted version. John had the sanded down version. I had the sanded version. Beautiful finish on it. Actually, it had a purple case. It had purple lining in it. It was a nice guitar.
All right, I think I'm going to shut this down so I can.
Oh, yeah, it's past time. Lord, I get talking. I won't shut up. I appreciate you inviting me.
I want to make sure you get some sleep, you know.
Yeah. Like I said, I ain't stayed up this long. It's been a long time since I've been up this late streaming. So I appreciate the invite. Enjoyed you all in the side chat. Good talking to you. And I got to watch fishing.
Well, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be live again tonight, 9:30.
All right.
Maybe in the morning if Shane's internet ain't on.
Yeah, I hope he gets it up soon.
Well, me too. It's driving me nuts without having, you know, his morning show because we all look forward to it. And then it's not there and it's not the same when I do it. Good night, Brutal Bob. Take care. God bless. Feel better. Love y'all. And we'll definitely catch you later today somewhere.
Good night, all. Night, Brutal Bob, Cottonwood Ranch. Enjoyed talking to y'all. Have a good night.
Get some sleep. And I'll see you in the morning.
Okay, night all. Enjoyed it. Thank you.
Anytime. All right, guys. I hope everybody has a great night and gets some good sleep. And I will catch you guys tomorrow. Well, it is tomorrow, but I will catch you guys in the morning. Good night. God bless.
Hey guys, Great Farmer Freelance.
Which I don't know what it showed, if anything, until
we are going to be Great Farmer
go
Grill.
back to the cardiologist.
Okay guys, we're
I'm kind of hoping.
hey guys, Great Farmer Freelance.
Which I don't know what it showed, if anything, until
we are going to be Great Farmer
go
Grill.
back to the cardiologist. The
Us getting this
she wasn't
today,
home, so she passed away. So now we only have 3.